And okay, I agree with what you said. So okay, let's move on to Butterfingers. How do we feel about Butterfingers?
I don't care for them, to be honest.
Really?
I think they're too dry of a candy.
Yeah,
They're okay for me.
that's a fair criticism. I agree. They're on the dry side for candy for sure.
It's like
Personally speaking,
it's like if you put a Kit Kat in an air fryer. It's not for me.
that's actually a very apt description. Wow, I never actually.
That's
put
like the
together.
texture.
Yeah, I'm gonna save that one. That's a good description for Butterfingers. It's the poor man's version of a Kit Kat. It's where they put all the overcooked ones.
Maybe, but then again, it does have the peanut butter that a Kit Kat doesn't have. But I'm
That's
sure there is a
true,
peanut
but
butter
I
Kit
think
Kat
that
out
adds-
there.
Yeah, I think the peanut butter is why it tastes. It's probably why it adds to it being tasting so dry.
I guess so, but a Reese's cup isn't dry.
Yeah, well, a Reese's cup has like the soft chocolate that goes with it. Also, I guess, and speaking for a personal reason for me, I just hate candy corn. That's going at the bottom of my candy
All right,
list.
there's no need to attack the most underrated candy ever.
Most
And
overrated
I don't know.
candy
I
ever.
don't know if it's
Underrated.
the lovers it's underrated. The haters it's overrated. I'm middle of candy corn. I think there's only like one brand I like.
I haven't made my own candy corn.
What is it? Branches? What's the purple package one?
It does start with a B.
It starts with a B.
Yeah, you're
Branches, Brox,
right.
Backs,
Branches.
something.
Sounds
That
right.
one's bad. That one tastes like wax.
Fair enough. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Cheap Seat Critics podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Geeky Writer.
I'm Crimson Mermaid.
And I'm Sprinks. And hey, if you're listening from the candy aisle right now, you can find us over on Facebook, Twitter, Blueski, Instagram, TikTok for any updates and weekly postings. We also have visual sides over on YouTube and Rumble for whatever it is we're covering, which is quite helpful with the recaps. I'll just say myself, but maybe not your cup of tea. Totally fine. We got audio platforms out there where you could be listening from. We also have a LetterBoxd, which isn't really relevant to the recaps, but maybe you're still interested, where we have all our averaged out numbers of graphs of what we've done and covered. Whew.
And hey, it'll be more relevant come 500 episodes or 500
That's
subscribers.
true.
Right?
Kind of.
Kind of.
Yeah, it doesn't directly affect the one we have for the pod, but you'll be included and people can find you. So, yes, audience, in case you're curious, at 500 subscribers on YouTube or Rumble, Writer here will make himself a LetterBoxd account.
Yes, I've been avoiding it for years. So.
And we're getting there. We're halfway there on YouTube.
No, we are over halfway there. Yeah, so we have a very exciting recap ahead of us. We got all the normal like rating questions. We have a post poll. We got a new segment or a spin on a regular segment. We got critics on critics.
Yeah, we got a lot to get into. I think we should just dive right into one of the bigger questions. Any surprise ratings?
Oh, rating question. Ooh,
that is a huge question.
The classic one. But it's one of our bigger ones. We should probably just start swinging in.
Well, I got one, and it's directed at you, Writer.
Oh,
because
boy.
After you gave the rating, I don't remember if it was in recording or right after we stopped recording, but I just went, this is coming up in the recap by what you did. So, Writer, you gave Thanks Killing an objective 3 and a subjective 3.
Yes.
Okay. So I have a list of other things we've covered on the podcast. I just would like to know if you think Thanks Killing is better than it in comparison.
All right, I'm gonna have to lay some groundwork for this one because I knew someone was coming back to bite me.
I'll start you with the easy one.
Go ahead.
Is Thanks Killing better than Velma season 1?
In terms of enjoyment, yes. Where was Velma?
What I'm getting at is
2.5?
all these examples. I don't have the actual numbers you've given, but what I do have is that all of these examples are less than or matching 3. None of these
Okay.
examples are both 3 and 3.
Okay. Off the top of my head, yeah, I think Thanksgiving is better than Velma.
Okay.
The benefit for the Thanksgiving is that it's its own project, whereas Velma is using iconic characters in a twisted way.
Okay. Is Thanksgiving better than Multiverse of Madness?
Objectively speaking, yes. Subjectively, no. I would much rather watch Multiverse of Madness.
Okay. Is Thanksgiving better than Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers?
Um, Enjoyment wise, actually, I think they're probably equivalent. Objectively, don't remember.
Okay. Is Thanksgiving better than Thunder Force, which is then met with a 3 of objective? So you gave him the same objective, but you liked Thunder Force subjectively more. Or sorry, you liked Thanksgiving had a 3 and Thunder Force had something lower than that for subjective.
Okay, yeah. Like I said, the one of the reason why Thanksgiving has a 3 is the killer is very much the turkey is very much in like a he steals a lot of his character traits from Freddy Krueger, which is why I think that I would still put that higher because I enjoy Freddy Krueger in a very sadistic way, I suppose.
Okay. Is Thanksgiving better than Mars Needs Moms?
Uh, hmm. Objectively, no, but subjectively, I'd have to think about that one a little more. I don't remember where Marcy's mom's ended up.
Okay. And the last one, which is the most recent, is Thanksgiving better than Return to Halloween Town?
Um, I would probably say objectively yes. Sub, I don't remember. I'm not sure. Sub they kind of feel equivalent to me in terms of enjoyment. I enjoy different parts of Halloween Town. I think the villains are funny and quirky in that, but they suffer from a lot of the same problems outside of that.
Okie doke. And that's all that I had listed. But good to
That's
know.
fair. Do you have any follow-up questions on that, Crimson?
On that particular one of the breakdown, no, other than Sprinks, since you did the research on it, were there any inconsistencies with it?
What do you mean by the inconsistencies?
Well, did you look at his numbers when doing that, or
I just
not?
looked at if they were less than 3. All the examples I gave were
Okay.
a combined less than 6.
All
I
right.
see.
Then no, I don't really have anything else to add for that one.
All right. Do you have any surprise ratings then, Crimson?
Do I ever have any surprise ratings? I mean, honestly.
Well, one comes to
No,
mind
I
for
do
me.
have one.
But
yeah,
you seemed surprised when I gave the rating.
which one are you thinking on that? Planes, Trains? Or?
Yeah, Planes Trains, when I gave it an 8.5. You seemed a little surprised.
It was a little higher than expected, but it was not as surprising as the rating I'm going to be talking about. And that's Sprinks is Your Subjective from Monster House. That one surprised me. That one I was expecting like an 8 range, so it was over a point off my expectation. Planes Trains I was expecting like a 7.5, so that's within a point range.
Oh, you think I would like Monster House more than Planes Trains?
I mean, the face of it, that's not necessarily the comparison I'm trying to make. I'm just saying I was more off on my guess with Monster House than Planes Trains. But I'm going to do kind of what you just did with Ryder and give a couple examples.
Ooh, fabulous.
And let me know if Monster House
these
is
are-
low or just right.
These are combined or just subjective?
These are just subjective to match
Okay.
or compared to the Monster House subjective. I think your objective makes sense to me on Monster House based off of your stuff. So let's go with our very first podcast of Doctor Strange 2. Well, which one do you enjoy more?
Oh, you're not going to tell me the number.
No, I was.
That wouldn't be fair,
Oh,
would it?
no. Ooh, I could trip up on myself here. That's clever of you. Damn. I like them both for different reasons, and I dislike them both for different reasons, which makes me think they're about the same. So, in my head, I would give them probably both like a 6.5, but I'm guessing that I gave Multiverse of Madness a higher score.
Okay. So in your head, they're
about the
of same
same.
value, but you think it's higher. Okay.
Yeah.
But they're about the same, but you like them for different reasons. So
Yeah.
that's fair.
I like them both for
Doctor
different
Strange, you
reasons, and I
gave a-
dislike them for different reasons.
You gave a 7.5.
Okay. Yeah.
So does that align? Do you think you enjoy the movie?
I
whole
have
point
not.
more.
Probably not, but I haven't seen that movie since we covered it on the pod. I feel like I need to rewatch it. And then I'll have a better cemented thought. So in my head right now, I think I'd lower it to a 7, but I can't fully say because it's off of memory that I saw that movie, over 3 years ago. So.
True. All right. How about Lightyear? Subjectively.
I like Light. I like
I know we had a whole.
I like
story, but-
Lightyear more than Monster House.
Okay. Well, that is in line with what you did.
And that
Not
is
too
completely.
surprising on that
I
one.
know that is completely biased and nostalgia on me for being
That's-
a huge Toy Story guy.
And that's totally fine. That's what's
Yeah, I'm just giving the reason for it.
Honestly, yeah.
All right. What about Belle?
Ooh, I did like Belle. Belle's better than Monster House, yeah. Again, that is me being biased and nostalgic that I'm a big fan of Beauty and the Beast. And Belle was a really cool twist on it.
Yeah. And you also are a really huge fan of like virtual world stuff.
A bit, yeah. Yeah. Does that line up?
Yeah, that lines up.
Okay, phew.
But Christmas with the Cranks.
Oh no. I think I'd say that's barely better than Monster House. I'm gonna guess that's like a 7.
It's 6.5.
Oh, it's about the same? Okay, I think,
good
yeah,
margin.
barely like it more than Monster House.
Okay, well, I mean, I have more, but we don't need to keep doing it. I guess it's in
Okay.
line with reviews.
See, the thing,
It stood out as different. To me.
I feel like I may have brought it up, but Monster House, I think over the time of rewatching as I get older, I don't like it as much as I did when I was younger.
Yeah, and that could happen. Movies lose their charm as you get older sometimes.
Yeah. But for me, a
Some movies
6.5,
anyway.
it's still good. I still will watch it. But I don't think like, such a great Halloween movie. That's what I would give Coraline. So.
Well, that was mine.
I got
Ryder,
one.
you?
Yeah, I got one for you, Crimson.
Ooh,
gasp.
we all got one for each other.
I know.
Nice.
I know. I was actually a bit surprised in your subjective rating between Return to Halloween Town and Thanksgiving. Because you said that you don't really do annual rewatches of Return to Halloween Town, but that ends up with the same, I guess, subjective rating you gave Thanksgiving, which you said you actually did enjoy watching. So I'm curious as to if you can expand on that, on your reasoning a little bit more.
Sure.
An audience, it's both
gonna
matched out of 5, just in case. For the audio listeners.
So I've talked about in the past kind of my point breakdowns, and 5 is like a okay like rating. It's not something I like, love, or hate. It's just okay. That's the middle for me. When we get into like 4 territory, it's usually not that enjoyable or teetering towards boring. 3 is disliking, and then anything lower is just hating, pretty much. So for Return to Halloween Town with the 5, it's not a film I dislike. The biggest thing I dislike about it is the recast, but the actual content in it, as poorly constructed as it is, as we all discussed, I don't dislike it. And as I mentioned in the coverage of it, I do have nostalgia glasses, even though it is one I don't watch a lot. There's still a childhood attachment to it. And for Thanksgiving, I do find a lot of humor and enjoyment from the turkey, but there is some vulgar humor that's a little over the top even for me, even though I kind of do like
Oh, getting stuffed.
for yeah, I do like aggressive comedy, I guess. I don't know how I classify some of that comedy, but I'll just say aggressive. But this one, some of them are just a little much for
Is
me.
it God, I feel like one of the terms for it was Kool-Aid humor. You know, just like the breaking through walls, like aggression. For the,
That sounds
yeah.
right.
I
Yeah,
feel like that was a term for it. But
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah, so
like so 90s
that's
commercials
kind of,
for kids. You like that humor.
yeah, but I kind of just like leaning towards humor that may not always be accepted during the time type deal. Like I like aged jokes. I don't know why I find them funny. But,
Oh, like the oh gosh, the whatever case joke that they make like 3 times in the movie.
well, no, not that example because I don't understand it. But
Well, it's certainly
uh,
aged.
I mean, sometimes you watch older films, you're like, well, they can't get away with that nowadays.
Oh, Blazing Saddles.
Usually, usually, yeah, like that exactly. I kind of like that kind of stuff.
Okay.
Does that help
Okay.
the breakdown between the two?
Yeah, it's
Yeah, a little bit.
you like comedies when they get at least 20 years old.
um, it'd be interesting to look back at movies I've watched, comedies I've seen younger than that to see the claim. But the older films have an advantage depending on the type of comedy they have.
Because they made references and jokes to the time for relatively that's not a right word, for the time period, whatever, but
Relevance to the time period.
relevance to the time period. And then much later, upon watching it, it's like a callback joke, so like it hits a different humor nerve kind of thing. So that's kind of interesting.
Yeah. And a lot of newer stuff, it is a blanket statement what I'm about to make, but a lot of the newer stuff, I find eye rolling. A lot of like the modern references to like, oh, well, why don't you go check out the video on TikTok or something? Like, whenever they bring up social
Oh,
media in a movie,
like the
I
Looney Tunes
usually like,
movie
ugh. Yeah.
when Daffy
I
was on
think that was the most
TikTok.
egregious.
Yeah.
I think that was the most egregious part of that movie because that has a lot of good comedy in it. But yeah, that's a good example of that. I found a lot of modern references to lean towards comedy, kind of like eye roll inducing, or like, ugh.
Yeah, but give it 25 years and then maybe you'll like it.
I'm gonna say no because it's also not very edgy anymore. Once again, blanket statement. I'm sure there's outliers.
Yeah, interesting.
Hmm.
By the way, you said nostalgia helps bump up some scores. I can definitely tell that hit you with Little Vampire.
Oh yeah, and
Oh,
I'm pretty sure I said that.
8.5?
I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure I said that in there.
It was the outlier rating of that one,
I
but
think
that made sense. I didn't really judge you for that one
yeah,
because
Crimson, that's
you
your
said going in.
highest objective for the season.
It is, and I think it is the. Let's see, checking everything. Yeah, that is the one I would be most likely to rewatch. I mean,
That's
I would rewatch a lot of these, but that
wow.
would be the most likely one. Yeah.
There's a for me this season. There's 3 movies that regularly come across my dash, and 2 of them are like family favorites, which is I guess weird for me. But yeah, Coraline and Coco are like big family hitters for me. So I have a lot of nostalgia attachment to both of them.
Yeah. No, I like that the season had a lot of range in stuff. Like there were some really high numbers, low numbers, and then some middle ground stuff.
Yeah, we covered a range, as you say.
Was there any other surprise ratings?
Uh,
I was surprised on Thanksgiving's average score going into it because I kind of pitched the idea of doing Thanksgiving as part of the later season,
Well, yeah, you hosted
and
it.
yeah, so I mean, not everything each of us hosts is necessarily something we
That's
pick.
true.
Um,
That's true.
but yeah, I threw Thanksgiving into the ring. I knew I would enjoy it more than you two, most likely. And part of me was kind of hoping it would be one of our lowest averaged. But it is not. Uh, for some reason, somehow, to me, I still don't see it. Marcy's Mom's is our lowest average still. I'm surprised Thanksgiving is above that.
I'm not. It makes sense to me
Uh, yeah. Unfortunately, that wouldn't make sense to me.
because
I'm curious.
Thanksgiving had a
I think.
purpose.
Yeah. I guess I have a question. Because you would know this more than I would, Crimson. What's our bottom average for Velma?
Um,
Oh, is Mars Needs Mom's lower than Velma?
I think so.
Season
Yeah.
1
But I feel like
or 2?
I feel like Velma would be close, like a close second to being a lowest average to Marcy's Mom's.
see, looking at it. Yes, Velma season 1 is lower. Marcy's Mom is our lowest movie average.
I see. Okay. Yeah, I was just curious.
Yeah.
But
But
no,
for
I don't
me,
have any
the
more surprise
reason it
ratings.
stands out is I think Thanksgiving is objectively worse in almost every facet. Well, to me, in every facet, it is objectively worse. Um, but I can get the subjective. You guys didn't really enjoy Marcy's Moms, but I just that one kind of stands out for the average.
Mm, I know I have a little bias into Mars Needs Mom because I do think it's one of the worst movies I've ever seen. And I held that for a long time until we covered it on the pod. And I'm like, yeah, I still think it's one of the worst movies I've ever seen. But there are elements of that movie I just don't like. And same
Yeah,
for
like the
Thanksgiving. I
faces.
don't mean to defend Thanksgiving. I give that a 2 objective. I mean, they're both not great movies.
Yeah, the reason that funny enough, I think it's my scale is the reason why it's at a 3 because it still manages to do something with its characters, even if it's parodying.
I
Whereas
mean,
Marcy's Mom's mixing not really a parody of its characters, it's just very extremely poorly written characters. Probably why Thanksgiving has a higher objective, at least when it regards to my ratings.
yeah, like Thanksgiving had. I'm sorry, I forget all the names. It was Billy, was the guy who ate the turkey.
Yeah,
Okay, Billy eating the turkey, being like a cartoon, and it being in his gun, blasting its way out with a gun. Very unrealistic, like just crazy stuff that occurred because we came to the conclusion there was no like hole in his back for the turkey to blast through, so he actually did eat it. That's like a one little scene of like silly, crazy humor. Marjorie's mom's them just like taking off actual space helmets and breathing in space or holding their breath, I think is far worse.
Yeah,
in that one
especially since
example.
yeah, I mean like
True, I'm
again
just saying like
my
a
rule.
small scene to like an over thing in the whole movie kind of thing.
Yeah, for me, I guess it kind of comes down to when it comes to stuff like that is the consistency within itself because they make an effort in that film to show that they need the helmets to breathe, and hence why when it's off, it's a problem. And then obviously with Jimmy Neutron, they don't bother with helmets at all, so I don't really hold it against it as a consistency issue.
Oh yeah, it's better than Jimmy Neutron. They don't even acknowledge it. They're just like, oh, they're fine.
Yeah, they just fly through space now. I'm like, okay. I don't personally don't like it, but I understand that's how the world
Yes,
functions.
but it's better than Mars Needs Moms.
Yeah, no, you won't hear me say that. Yeah, it is better.
That would be my surprise ratings.
Okie dokie.
All right.
What should we go into next? Should we do another
Uh,
classic question?
I can do a crimson question, not a
Ooh.
default question.
Ooh.
This one is directed to one of us, being writer. Uh,
Oh, I know what this is.
so, yeah. In Thanksgiving, something was brought up that I kind of saw possibly incongruent with statements in the past, writer, and I guess if you could clear them up or maybe I misinterpreted stuff, but
It's possible. I
um,
feel like it's funny you're mentioning this because I feel like I said something in Thanksgiving that wasn't congruent. I just didn't remember what. So this might be we might be have been thinking it's the same thing. I just don't remember what it is.
so the topic is brought up several times of authorial intent and like death of the author and all that.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
in Thanksgiving, you came to the defense of, well, they intended this kind of humor, which to me rings bells of authorial intent because that's kind
Mhm.
of how you stated it. So I was curious, how come that got applied to that film but not other films?
Sorry. To clarify, I know exactly what you're talking about. I think I mentioned that during my objective rating, which is on me. That is it. That was my mistake. Should have listed that under subjective. Um, and I do okay, I do account for authorial intent sometimes when it comes to subjective. So, what's a good example for this? Um, if someone makes an adaptation, I mean, this is gonna, because we've had our adaptation discussions quite a few times. So if someone adapts a movie or adapts a book, but they forget scenes in the book, or they update the references in the book, or uh, what have you, I would
When
consider that.
Coraline added a whole new character.
Yeah, exactly. Coraline added a whole new character. I would then add that into the authorial intent in my subjective behind the film. I would still take that. I would still take it as a the film as it is on my objective, but authorial intent can factor into my subjective.
Because it came into play, an example comparison, I guess. I can't recall the exact scene, but there was a moment in Thanksgiving where Sprinks brought up something he didn't view as like they intended it to be poorly done as a joke. He thought it was just the production of it. But you were opposing, saying you did believe it was their intent. So that kind of uh, gets into the objective side of things and less subjective when you're saying that it was their intent to be poorly made,
Mostly,
essentially.
mostly that will factor into my subjective because objective is just I need to take the movie as it is.
Yeah, it's hard to
Um,
tell any of that without actually knowing the behind the scenes.
yeah. Uh, I there's might have been a couple times it came up in the film. The ones that are coming to me the most in my head right now. Crimson is the ones related to the jokes themselves. Um, and while I don't necessarily find a lot of the humor personally funny, I do recognize that they're still trying to make attempts at humor. Does that make sense? I don't know if that's I don't know what specifically that was tying into with Sprinks, but
I guess I'll give an example. It's not correlated with the one I just made, but uh, when the turkey gets kicked into like the TP sticks and burns,
oh
uh,
yeah.
from the exterior, it's kind of like a wide shot, and you see him fly into it. It's kind of comedic, but how do you weigh that? Do you think they intended that scene to be funny, or just ended up being like that because that's the only way they could do it?
Um, how would I weigh that as a authorial intent?
Because at this point, you have to ascribe whether they're trying to be funny or that was just production because they had a turkey puppet and it just being thrown is innately funny. But maybe that isn't their intent for the scene. That's just how they could do it.
The only thing I would clarify this is behind the scenes stuff. Though I would tend to lean on that was their intent because that's what ended up in the final cut of the film. At least
Crimson,
for my subjective initial intake.
Crimson, do you have a better example or a matching example that takes place earlier in the film? Because I slightly feel like for that example being so late towards the end of the movie that the intake of the filming process and the humor throughout the film weighs in more upon the experience or the audience intake up to that point, which could make it funnier or more believably fitting because it's so much later in the film.
Nothing really comes to mind of earlier stuff that could be misconstrued between intended humor and production limitations to me.
Okay.
Is there anything that pops into mind to you for such an example? Because everything else I'm thinking early seems like
I mean, the
it's
Pilgrim
intended to
Lady
be funny.
was intended funny, I believe. But everything of like the
Everything at the
school
school,
and getting in the
I think,
Jeep.
any of that was production limitations that could be misconstrued. I think that was all meant to be
Yeah.
humorous.
Like the first kind of joke might be peeing on the totem that Flashy pees on, but
So nothing comes to mind with that request.
okay.
I'm thinking, and I can't think of anything either.
Mhm. So for the fire example, you're leaning. It's their intent that it was funny. Then I guess, and it's
On my
not
subjective,
just a
yes.
byproduct of the limitation.
Yeah, I mean, why can't it be both in that instance?
Well, if I'm trying to break down the objective side of this conundrum, because I think it's either or for the objective side of things. Either it was intended to be comedy, or it wasn't.
That's why I was trying to think of an
Okay.
earlier example because I think the movie built up to make it come across as more humor or more comical.
But when we break down a movie, we see it, and then we
Yeah, you want the
apply
scene in
that movie
isolation
to everything.
of
So
it.
Yeah. Um. So and this is just my. I would lean towards it being funny, and it also could be limitations because I guess with how the film's constructed, I don't take an objective issue with that being their choice of depiction. But I lean towards it was their choice because I guess the rest of the film would have framed it as such with how the rest of the production is.
alrighty.
I should have made a writer objective thing image.
It doesn't come up very often. I try to be consistent, but sometimes slip of the tongues will create confusion.
That's true.
And I do, like I said, I do attribute this one because I think I remember saying while I was giving my objective rating, I think, oh yeah, it's their intent to be funny. I remember as soon as it came out of my mouth, I'm like, that didn't sound right.
Well,
Because
then
it's
again,
Gonna come
supposed to
back
fall
on
under.
me.
yeah, it's difficult
Yeah.
if you find poor production funny. Then it makes it a lot harder.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I guess on a personal note for that, it's give or take. It's just how creative can you get with poor production? I mean, we've made some no shortage of student films that I would say are pretty fucking hilarious because but I also have a lot of nostalgia attached to those experiences. But putting my nostalgia aside, we made good use of our limited production and our environments.
True.
And for me, that's where a lot of the creative skill can come in. So uh when they decide to throw the turkey into the teepee, I'm more inclined to believe, yeah, sure, that was a product of just their creative limitations, but they still chose to do that because it's fitting with the rest of the tone of the film.
If
Which is why I said I still lean on my that being a subjective issue mostly for me.
okay, I
But I
have
would need
two
yeah.
made up scenarios that might help. If there was a shot with a boom mic visible, would you find that funny?
Um there's no fourth wall break, so I don't think I would necessarily find that funny in this.
Okay.
That again subjectively. I don't know if I would find that personally funny.
Okay.
Objectively funny, that would probably say no, because there's no consistency with that sort of humor throughout the film.
Okay.
Though Turkey does
Other
look into the wall, I suppose. Does Turkey ever break the fourth wall?
He does look
He
at the
does.
camera when he's about to go at the height.
Doesn't he look at the
Hitchhiking.
camera when he's about to kill the dad?
Uh,
I can't
I mean, he
recall,
walks
but
towards the camera and then turns around.
there's something where someone says something and he like looks at the camera. But
Yeah. Okay.
and then the follow up was if a character interacted with the boom mic in some way, would it be funny? Whether the boom mic like hits them in the face while they're running, or they go, "That's a weird looking bird," or something along those lines.
For me, when it comes to fourth wall jokes specifically, it's a matter of consistency. So Deadpool breaking the fourth wall, don't really have an issue with it because it's consistently done. He regularly interacts with the audience. So like if they drop in the boom mic, we see it, and then we can think it's a mistake, but then the boom mic drops in later on in the scene and hits somebody in the face. But that then fixes the previous scene. It's like, oh, that was an intentional setup for this joke. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, I know exactly what you're saying. That was a big thing I used to have on the podcast a lot about things that occurred once.
That was brought up a lot in the past.
It is, yeah.
But for this example, the boom mic thing, if that occurred once, but it was acknowledged in world, would that be funny?
So like everybody acknowledges that if they were hit, the character was hit by a boom mic.
Could be an example. Or maybe like everyone's walking and the last person in line goes, "That's a weird looking bird," where the other four didn't acknowledge it.
I would say it's a pretty middling joke. I didn't think they try. I wouldn't say it's like the best written joke with the group, but I'd say they tried humor. That's probably what I would say.
Okay. Okay, cool. I was just trying to think of examples that might aid in this humor, not humor question.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, I'm the one that usually says that comedy, the reaction to comedy is subjective, but there are objective qualities you can break down about it.
Yes. Like Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. I think that had objectively some good written jokes.
I would agree.
Yeah. The only outlier is the one I talked about of the pitched voice standing out as a different
That's
form
true.
of comedy.
Yeah, I think that most of the humor in that film works really well because I wouldn't strictly call it a comedy film, but obviously that's what it is.
Well, I
It's a
think it's
dramedy.
it's the dramedy.
Yeah. It works because a lot of the humor is the same kind of humor, which is character driven kind of humor. So obviously the characters aren't breaking the fourth wall. There's no boom mics dropping down. Uh there's not much slapstick comedy. I would say there's a tiny
It's
bits of
not
it, but
Spaceballs,
yeah,
or essentially just a Mel Brooks film.
yeah. They do a very good job of dramatizing that particular comedy. So yeah, I would agree. It's very, very well written.
Okay, cool. Well, I guess I'll ask the question to get it out of your hair. Who was your least favorite character this season?
What an interesting one. There's some contenders, I imagine, for you guys.
No,
And,
actually, most of them are from Thanksgiving, I think.
and I remember I thought it would be Chowder from Monster House. That's probably not true anymore.
You did say that, yeah. You thought
Yeah,
that would be Ryder's least favorite.
yeah. It was a good pitch for the first half of the season. I think
I think I have my answer.
I'm going over in my head right now. You go first, then, since you got your answer.
I think I'm going to go with Marnie Piper from Return to Halloween Town.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's a good one.
Old.
It's not inaccurate, though.
Hated replaced Marnie more than anyone in Thanksgiving.
She's
That's no
bad.
surprise.
Well, Thanksgiving, everyone's stuck to what they're pulling across in that movie of what they're portraying, and I think they all have some form of a bad joke or attempts at jokes and everything. So it kind of evens out all those characters to me and the stereotypes they play. Marnie is the main character in Return to Halloween Town, and she's not likable.
She's not likable.
No.
Okay, I see the breakdown. I track the logic.
She stands out more as a sore thumb than any character in Thanksgiving.
Mine would have to be... It started with a D, but the nerd archetype in Thanksgiving.
Dylan.
Darren.
Yeah, Darren. Probably him. Even though he kind of becomes a hero-ish type by the end, I just can't gravitate towards him. Because I don't really find anybody else in the season like annoying to me. Like, Little Vampire, I think they're all fine. Monster House, good. Coraline, good. Army of Darkness, good to or just background characters. Return to Halloween Town, Nostalgia Glasses.
A lot of background characters.
Yeah, V for Vendetta. I guess the Chancellor is a little underwhelming for me. Well, actually, maybe I'll pick him. Yeah, I'm changing my pick to him. Yeah, he's just underwhelming. I get it's like every depiction of him throughout the film is like this authoritarian figure on the screen. He has perceived power, and then the one time we actually see him, he's this crying, sniveling little baby. But I did mention in the coverage I would have preferred more from him and not made him this cookie cutter basic.
A Mewling Quim.
Yeah, just
For
a film that's very good at establishing characters, that one I felt was half baked in comparison to all the others.
But the milk, he broke the milk glass. He's strong.
Dude, apparently that's iconic, according to a writer.
It is iconic. More iconic than I fucking thought. No, I see what you're saying, Crimson. I disagree wholeheartedly. But that's because I probably am a little more up to snuff on the portrayal of authoritarian characters. Maybe.
I mean, they're usually portrayed as flat bad guys. At least the ones I've seen, there's usually not really any nuance to them.
Yeah,
I know you have an example of one you want to show me. Kind of came off in V for Vendetta when I.
There's a few, but yeah. I would probably say my least favorite character is probably Billy from Thanksgiving.
The not so good friend.
Yeah. Too much was inconsistent with him.
Yeah,
and he's such an easy character to fix. But Chowder was probably still the bottom of my top 5, being 5 worst characters this season. So there's that. But I wouldn't pick him as worst.
Because in Monster House you just said Chowder was meh. He was fine. Nothing middle of the road.
I don't personally like him at all, but he's very middle of the road.
Okay. Now time to flip the question on its head.
Yeah, best character.
All right, Marnie Piper.
You out of your mind.
Recast.
You out of your flipping mind.
I'll go first. I like V.
Yeah, I knew that. Yeah.
Yeah, I was very obvious about that. Sorry, I can't. Plus, Hugo Weaving's voice is just perfect. You know, it can't not be V for me. Then it'd probably be Coraline, and then it would probably be.
I mean, you should just do like 10. Descending 1 to 10, my favorite characters. I have a pretty good idea on what Sprinks' answer will be to this.
Well, there are some high ones. I do also really like V and Coraline. I do like Ash Williams in Army of Darkness as a badass goofball. And they're all really... I think V is the closest out of those 3 to my favorite, but I'm going to go with Del Griffith.
Del.
Yeah.
Yeah. We all saw that one coming, Sprinks. It's okay.
I just see so much of myself in him. Not like him.
Yeah, Dell's a character I think might grow on me on subsequent viewings. I think I'll definitely like him more in my second viewing because it took me a while to get into to enjoy his character, I guess.
Well, actually, now that you know the twist, a second viewing, you see a lot more of like that playing on the character and the acting.
Yeah. And like I said, I was looking. I knew there was something tragic that had happened. I just wasn't sure what for a while. But yeah, I think that would help contextualize a lot of the scenes that came before. So Delgarth is probably would make an appearance in my top 5 favorites, but I don't think anyone's beating out V for me.
Between Turkey, Ash, and Rudolph from Little Vampire.
That's an insane list.
Very different characters.
We all enjoy very vastly different things.
I don't know. Turkey is very funny. Ash is cool and funny. My limitation on this is, do I apply Ash as a character or Ash from Army of Darkness? And that's kind of what I'm stuck on.
Well, Army of Darkness is kind of a sideways new timeline-ish.
It's a different Ash. So I'm gonna go with Turkey. Yeah. I know, that's kind of a surprise one even for me.
Out of all the characters of these 9 movies, Turkey
yeah,
is your top character.
that is surprising.
I get the most enjoyment when he's on screen than anybody else. Lots of good characters here, but he's the one I get the most enjoyment.
I mean,
now I want you to see
season.
Nightmare on Elm Street now. I'm really curious what you think about Freddy Krueger.
Writers kept bringing up Freddy Krueger, and I'm like, is that really a comparison? Because
it is. It's a close comparison.
It is a very close comparison. It absolutely. Having seen all of the Nightmare on Elm Street movies, absolutely.
You've seen all of them?
I have.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I haven't even seen a single clip of Freddy Krueger, so I don't know what he is as a character.
He's got nicer fingers.
I know he's a Dreamwalker guy, but I don't know how he acts or anything.
Is the only thing you've really experienced of Freddy Krueger is Dead by Daylight? Yep. Okay. Beat me to it.
Yep. I knew you were going that way.
Explains why you have a very limited scope and opinion of Freddy Krueger and didn't understand any of the references I was constantly making.
Yeah, I mean, to me, he always looked like a goofy slasher with this striped shirt.
I'll be honest, he is a goofy slasher.
He is absolutely a goofy slasher. Funny enough, I don't know if this is spoilers or not, the movie that takes him, that does the best work with Freddy Krueger is the Freddy vs. Jason movie.
Is that a movie you can watch in isolation, or is it better to watch it?
It's better to know the characters.
It's better to know the characters. But that being said, it does the best with how the world building functions and everything. Because there's so many questions you have while watching the original stuff, but when you get to that one, they actually address some of those original questions in a surprising way.
Well, maybe next year we'll do a Nightmare on Elm Street season.
A whole season.
It's not hinting audience.
Isn't that like 9 movies? It's a lot in that franchise or something.
Well, I mean, we just did it.
Well, then again, I feel like every classic horror character has a lot of movies now.
Yeah.
Like Scream just had 7, I think.
I thought Scream was on 9.
No, I don't think it's 9. I don't think it's that high.
It's a lot.
But
I think it's because they struggle to make new horror icons.
Yeah.
I think Stranger Things with the Demogorgon's one that's stuck around, but it's different.
That's a good example.
It's not a slasher. It's a horror icon, but it's not a slasher.
Yeah. Demogorgon might be the new Alien.
But yeah, that's a better comparison. But for slashers, I don't think anything's really stuck.
Terrifier.
Okay, that's a good one. Yeah, Terrifier.
Art the Clown. Yeah.
But I mean, Black Phone, they tried with Grabber, but he's not gonna have staying power.
He's not as strong. No,
he's not gonna have staying power. Megan had potential. But
no. They changed Megan. Yeah. I think a Blumhouse
like one-off stuff
isn't gonna go far for a slasher.
Hence why they just keep doing remakes of old classics.
Yeah. Slashers are hard to do. Like it's hard to make a.
I think they're hard
compelling
to
slasher
stick.
film. Yeah.
I don't think they're necessarily hard to do though. I mean, there's all the slashers in the Fear Street trilogy, but none of them are really iconic enough to
No, they're
stand
not
out.
sticking around. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you can have distinct looking killers in movies. They just don't last past their movies.
What was that slasher? I don't think we covered it in the podcast. It was a movie night pick. We had a slasher who went to like a Halloween theme park, like a Fear Factor theme park.
Oh,
that was killing
Bloodfest?
people.
Hellfest.
Hellfest?
Bloodfest.
I always get those two
Yeah,
confused.
Yeah. Hellfest. Bloodfest is the Rooster Teeth one, I believe.
Okay, Hellfest. Yeah. And it ends with him going home to his daughter or something.
Yeah. It's very generic, but honestly, I think that one could work as a comeback.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Happy Death Day also has the Babyface Killer, which is a slasher, but it's a Blumhouse movie, I think, so probably won't go do that.
Well, gentlemen, how would we feel about some post-poll perspective?
Oh, wonderful.
I'm feeling it.
What does that mean?
He said,
How
how
you
you feeling? I'm feeling it. I'm wanting it. I'm ready for it.
You're wanting it. Oh, boy.
Wanting it over with. No, I'm kidding.
Aw. All right, audience. Post-poll perspective. In case you don't know what this is on our YouTube end. Every week we post a poll on Saturdays to get more of you, of ideas of like what you think or don't like and whatnot, to get audience feedback, and then we go over it and put our own opinions into it and see where it all lines up. That probably wasn't the strongest way I could have worded all that, but hope that makes sense. Anyway, since this season had 9 things in it, we have 9 to get through. And because of timey-wimey stuff, to give you audience enough time to get votes in, because we don't want to cut it too short on you, we're going all the way back to our MCU season for some of these.
Sounds about right.
So the first one we have... sorry for my hesitation. A lot of stuff on the visual side problem. Anyhow, our first one we have is in a fight of all 4 of these characters fighting each other at the same time, who on this roster is coming in second place? And this received a total of 30... I believe that says 32 votes. Where the characters listed are the Incredible Hulk from the 2008 film, Iron Man Mark 6 from the 2010 film, Abomination from the Incredible Hulk film, and Armored Whiplash from Iron Man 2, where 81% gave it to Hulk, 6% gave it to Iron Man, 3% gave it to Abomination, and 9% gave it to Whiplash.
This part.
I don't think they understood the question.
This poll did get a comment. Unfortunately, I don't have it listed here, but it stated that something along the lines of like, guys, the question is for someone coming in second place.
Yeah, Ivan Excel on YouTube comments, it's second place, guys, not first.
That's it. Yeah, which I agree with. I think Hulk would be first place.
I
Yeah.
don't. I voted for Hulk being second place.
Oh, who do you think would win?
It's who should win in my eyes in the MCU. Hulk. I think Abomination should win because Abomination is Hulk, but supposed to have the skills of the best soldier on the planet Earth. So that's my line of logic. Hulk with skill versus Hulk. Hulk with skill should win.
Interesting.
I'm probably I think I have similar logic to you, Crimson. I would probably I've not Hulk winning, I'd probably put Abomination. That would be my alternative to this. As much as I love Stark and Whiplash, okay, less so Whiplash, but
Yeah, I was like, what are you talking about?
yeah, less so Whiplash. As much as I love the I guess the rest of this lineup, I don't see Stark in a Mark 6 armor being able to last very long against either the Abomination or Incredible Hulk. So I think it's going to be one of those two coming out on top.
Something to aid into Incredible Hulk, or I guess not aid, but take away from the two of Incredible Hulk and Abomination, is they both bleed, opposed to like Mark Ruffalo's where bullets just bounce off the skin. So I'm trying to think.
Very true.
Iron Man's mark where he does the laser spin around, could that pierce the hide of either one of them?
Well, they bleed due to the strength of a Hulk, though.
That's well, Abomination's like
we had.
I guess that's true. I'm like Abomination's bone pierced into his body, but I guess you're saying the strength is what gave the leverage to pierce.
Drove it in. Yeah. Because none of them, from what I recall, get damaged from any of the things like the military throws at them or anything. It's just them beating each other up.
Yeah, doesn't Abomination like grab a tank shell or something
and bite it or crush it with his hand or something?
Yeah.
He grabs. It's not. I think it's a bazooka rocket. I think.
Oh yeah,
it
it's
was
an
an
RPG
He
rocket.
grabbed it and smashed it on his chest.
Yeah, that tells me that Whiplash is doing nothing.
Out of curiosity, Sprinks, because you kind of do the polls. Why did you throw in Whiplash with this selection?
Because I thought he would be a funny add-in.
Okay, I didn't know if it was like a serious contender.
No, well, it's an idea being that of course Whiplash can do damage and the armored outfit, but amongst all of them at the same time, like, is the possibility of someone thinking like, oh, Hulk or Abomination would just grab him, rip him in half, or would he focus on Iron Man for his hatred of him? And Iron Man would be distracted, making Iron Man weaker in the fight. Would Iron Man not see Whiplash as the first threat, or like how it would change up the fighting?
All right.
I guess to weigh in my answer, I think in second place would be Abomination.
So why would Hulk beat him?
Because in the initial fight in the movie, Hulk was going pretty toe-to-toe with Abomination until there was distractions placed where Hulk got the upper hand on Abomination when like the helicopter crashed and there was other things going on. I think with Iron Man and Whiplash around being as distraction, that's enough for Hulk also to get the upper hand on Abomination. Especially since the other two would be fighting back.
Yeah, I guess my limitation on this pairing is how poorly done they did Abomination in the movie. Because he's supposed to be Lasky. He has he talks like him. He's him.
He has his intelligence. Yeah.
He's him.
It hasn't dumbed him
But
down.
they don't display his skills. They treat him like a bar brawler, brute type, which wouldn't be him. And he gets choked up by a chain that should have broke instead of
what was it
choking him
again?
out.
Russian-born French division sent to
Yeah,
America
it
brawler.
it was a Russian-born. It was a Russian-born Russian-born United Kingdom Royal Marine on loan to the United States military, and somehow he got into the most like top secret military
With
facility
super
in America
serum
to get a super
and
serum.
Hulk blood bar brawling.
Yeah.
What a
Yeah,
guy.
it's nonsense. So the logic I'm applying to this fight is Abomination actually as Abomination and not the Abomination they did.
Well,
portrayed.
that's why I specifically wrote the 2008, because this isn't comic version. This is in the movie version.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why the dates were
I don't
given.
know
These are all
comic
from the film
Abomination.
versions. Yeah, in the comic version, Hulk would win, no question. Second place would probably be Iron Man.
And I imagine this fight is without prep time, kind of like
Without prep time. No. They don't.
If it's without prep time, Iron Man falls to third for me, because Iron Man's very smart, but I don't think he has the tech right now to take on the Hulk
No, I
or
agree.
Abomination.
Yeah, especially the Iron Man 2 one.
Yeah, like I said, the laser thing could work, but I don't really have any evidence of how that would function against the Hulk. Like in any Hulk iteration that we've seen so far in the MCU, they don't really ever tangle with something like that laser.
No, even Ultron in Age of Ultron, he gets the Hulkbuster armor, and that still is a toe-to-toe with Hulk.
Yeah, but he also, again, he doesn't use the laser. right?
True. But
Which
then
is
again, that's not Edward Norton's Hulk.
Yeah, and again, the main thing for me here is that, like, even if if we had a precedence within the MCU that the laser would cut through Hulk's skin, then I would probably give it to Iron Man easily. He would just have to time it to both Hulk and Abomination being in the right spot for him to use it.
Yeah, he'd have to do a collateral because he only has one use.
Yeah, at least in this outfit, he gets.
But he did
I
have
think,
it in
3
both
uses.
Gauntlet, so maybe he has 2 uses.
Yeah,
Don't know. It's a very nerdy
there
question.
Is yeah. So like there are factors here that would contribute to Stark winning, but it's too many unknowns within the MCU. Like if they could demonstrate the Hulk gets like with if for example in the Hulkbuster fight, Stark has to break that laser out to like prevent Banner from killing somebody, and it does actually cut through some of Hulk's skin. Like we could see some of them also like fall off. That would be enough for me to give Stark the win, but I
All
don't
that for a
have
drop
any
of
evidence
blood.
for that. Yeah. But I don't have any evidence for that, so Stark is going to fall to third, I think, for this one.
I agree. Hulk, Abomination, Iron Man, Whiplash is my order.
Is there any scenario where Whiplash would win?
No.
That depends. Did Abomination crush his bird?
Oh yeah, if Whiplash was able to hack into Tony's suits and have the other Iron Man suits work for him, or if I don't think if he had his like Marine or Army robots, they would just be demolished. But Iron Man's suits might be more powerful.
Yeah, the only thing I can think of is the other 3 kill each other, and he's just the last guy.
What if his armor was made of vibranium?
Well, this is off of Whiplash from Iron Man 2.
True, but Wakanda existed.
Other version. It's not. You wouldn't have access to it, though.
You said any form. I'm just saying, what if Justin Hammer had vibranium?
I mean, I guess he would survive. I mean, Hulk. I don't think has the strength in the MCU at this stage to break vibranium, so I guess he would at least survive. Maybe
he'd have internal bleeding. He'd get his brain concussed enough. I think it would. He'd just be rattled.
You gotta be careful when applying that, because when Thor like punches Iron Man, then you'd be like, "Well, Iron Man's dead."
Yeah, that's true.
He got punched by Thor.
Yeah. Okay. Well, with that, then we'll move on to the next one, which is who is the best at arm wrestling? And this received 4 votes, and the options being Fandral, Hogan, Volstagg, and Lady Sif.
I do not understand the Fandral.
Well, hang on. It had 4 votes, so 2 votes went to Fandral and 2 votes went to Lady Sif. Whereas 0 for Hogan, 0 for Volstagg.
To me, Fandral would come in last place. I don't get it.
I don't know enough about them. Their characters from Norse mythology. That might be what's bleeding in here for that vote, but I would tend to agree. I don't think Fandral's getting I think he would be last place as well.
You have Volstagg, the big brute one. You have Hogan, who's like headstrong, focused guy, which can be advantageous in an arm wrestling. And Lady Sif, I kind of have a bit more on her than you guys because she shows up in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Spoil. So I have her as winning this contest.
Okay, I think Fandral and Hogan are about tied at bottom for me. Who's the best at arm wrestling? Like, I feel like Lady Sif, when arm wrestling, she would do it less, so her win-loss ratio is high, and Volstagg would do it a lot more, but I feel like Volstagg would have a lot more wins.
Well, when you talk about best, are you talking about win-loss ratios or best like technique?
Not technique, I guess just like when they arm wrestle, they win.
Okay, yeah.
So Volstagg and Lady Sif, I can see them winning on different accounts for different reasons. So I think just barely I'll put Volstagg above Lady Sif because I just think he'd have more wins. But if Lady Sif and Volstagg went at it in an arm wrestling, I think Lady Sif would win.
So my order is Fenrir's last. I can see Hogan beating Volstagg. Because Hogan's very, very just determined. I can see him using like a little, like tiny little advantages to his ability to beat Volstagg. But I think all things being even, Volstagg would win. And then I'm kind of torn between Volstagg and Lady Sif taking the champion.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen plenty arm wrestling competitions, and the thing that wins is technique over strength most of the time. Of course,
Yeah.
strength is important, but technique can triumph a strong opponent.
Which is why I think Hogan could probably beat out Volstagg. And I think Lady Sif could beat out Volstagg more consistently.
Okay. Okay, that was just an interesting one. I tried to tailor these ones, to the film that came out that we covered for the.
Obviously, this is for Thor, I guess.
For the Thor one. So, next one we have is what is the best Captain America song? And this received 2 votes, with the options being Captain America, so the Alan Silvestri score theme, Star Spangled Man, Save the City from the Rogers the Musical, or It's Been a Long, Long Time. 1 vote went to Save the Day, and 1 vote went to It's Been a Long, Long Time.
Well, I will say my vote, because I did vote in this one, is It's Been a Long, Long Time. Captain America musical, I don't care about. The Star Spangled Man, kind of catchy, and the Captain America theme is just something I've heard too much, I guess, that I'm just numb to it.
Captain America theme is great. I like it. I think I would also go, but specifically for MCU, It's Been a Long, Long Time is so more important. It's so much more important to his character. So it's easy one for me to pick that one.
For me, it's very tough because I like all the songs. In last place, though, I'd probably have Save the City because that seems more of an Avengers song than a Captain America song. But it's so tough. I think I might go with the Captain America theme. And then It's Been a Long, Long Time, and then Star Spangled Man. But they're like right next to each other, the 3 of them. Well, that was a quick one.
All right.
Next one we have, which got quite a few votes.
Jesus Christ.
The question being, which Avengers movie has the best joke? And then comment below what that joke is, so we would know. This received 190 votes, where 60% went to Infinity War, 16% to Endgame, 14% to Age of Ultron, and 10% to the Avengers.
Yeah, Infinity War, it makes sense why people would pick that one, because Infinity War does such a great job of balancing its humor with the direness of the situation at hand.
Well, that would give best tone of a genre, but what would be the best joke? What joke in Infinity War beats any other joke?
I'm thinking about this.
And obviously the best joke in it is Hulk as a being.
Oh, that's funny.
But
that's a funny answer.
Yeah. But not counting that, I would probably say the "Why is Gamora" joke.
Oh, that's a good joke.
It gets a lot of characters involved, and I think it's just funny.
It's very character oriented.
I'm trying to think my favorite joke in Infinity War. Yeah, damn it. I think my favorite Infinity War joke is "Get Lost, Squidward."
It's such a good one.
Just calling Ebony Moss Squidward is so funny.
Or Ned's distraction. Be like, we're all gonna die.
That one works. It's in character.
It works, but maybe I just don't like Ned.
It's not the. Yeah, it's not the showstopper one.
Yeah. I mean, all the
ones.
Guardians
In front of a wizard.
You embarrass me in front of the wizards, yeah.
What's this guy's deal with the Stark? He's here to take a necklace from a wizard. Something like that. That was pretty funny.
Who do you serve? What am I supposed to say? Jesus?
Yeah, that's a good one. You're from Earth. Yeah. Have you heard of this old movie called Alien?
I'm from
Something like
Missouri.
that.
Yeah, that's on Earth, dipshit.
Why are you hustling us for?
uh,
Yeah, there's a lot
oh,
of good jokes in
what
Infinity
was
War.
Drax
You're a
describing
dude.
Thor?
You're a dude. He's a man. Or something
Yeah.
along those lines.
He's like, if a Viking and an angel had a baby or something, like a pirate. I forget what, like a pirate and an angel had a baby.
It's also Infinity War where Drax does, if I move incredibly still, I'm invisible.
Oh, hi,
to the
Drax.
naked eye.
Trying to think the other movies though. I mean, Cap saying language in Age of Ultron, I think, is pretty damn funny.
I like that one because that one's consistently used throughout the film as it's a running joke that's really well done. It kind of comes out of nowhere, but it kind of earns its place by the end.
Yeah,
I think a good contender is Puny God and Avengers.
that's a good one.
I have a contender for a completely different reason in Avengers, which would be his first name is Agent.
That's also a really good one.
Yeah, that's good.
Phil.
Okay.
Phil. His first name's Agent.
Yeah, and the reason I like that joke so much is because it comes back later as actually a serious line from Stark when Stark names him to shoot Loki.
Yeah.
So that one's a joke that has a really good emotional payoff to it.
It's more
That guy's playing Galaga.
It's more of just humorous dialogue more than a joke, but I do like in Age of Ultron, Hawkeye trying to pep talk Scarlet Witch. We're fighting robots. I got a bow and arrow. None of this makes sense.
We also gotta remember that Hawkeye's like, I could shoot him.
Oh yeah,
nobody would know.
Yeah, no one would know. I'll kill him. You know, people die all the time.
Bastard.
Yeah.
I'm gonna miss the poor bastard. He just talked to himself about it. That was pretty great.
And what makes that one better is he actually improv that line too.
Yeah.
Needless to say, there's some good comedy in all this, but I think that
hang on, we haven't talked about Endgame. What's a good Endgame?
I was gonna say, I think Endgame comes.
That's not a joke.
It's an inside joke. I would say of these four, I think Endgame probably comes in last for me. That's
I'm struggling to think of stuff. I'm thinking of Rhodey being like, "So he's an idiot."
Yeah, and again, I take issues with that because that's undermining a really great film when they do stuff like that. You know,
Hulk being embarrassed by his
smashing
2012 version.
Yeah. But hey, wasn't the Hulk dab such an iconic?
Nope.
Stop it.
No. That's America's Ass. It's a pretty good one.
That Hulk dab is a great example of what I said about the modern comedy, where I think it's terrible.
Or when they're playing Fortnite.
Also that.
Yeah. The joke
Thor fell flat.
Yeah, Fat Thor does not age well. I was thinking a joke that I do like is Stark going, for a second I thought you were like a
Build-A-Bear?
Or for a second I thought you were a Build-A-Bear. Yeah, that one, not iconic, but I did enjoy that one.
I do like that. I also like when he calls Rocket Ratchet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree. Endgame's probably last place.
Them thinking Thor's dead in the corner is
that's good.
Pretty all right.
Again, it's good, undermines a character.
Out of the way, Lebowski.
This is my issue with a lot of the humor in Endgame. It undermines other characters.
Yeah.
Endgame would come last. I think my pick for top two is going to be between Ultron and Infinity War. I would probably put Avengers in third. Because Avengers has a lot of good jokes, but the gags don't really come back.
I think of the four movies, Age of Ultron is the funniest.
I'm due for a rewatch. I haven't seen that in like a decade.
Yeah, I think Age of Ultron is the funniest. I agree. I think... Oh man, I'm trying to think. You got the language joke. That worked really, really well.
The language joke is good. The all worthy can lift Thor's hammer party jokes.
Yeah. And then that again comes back as a serious moment when Vision hands Thor the hammer.
Yeah.
That's a hammer in the elevator. Is the elevator
not worthy?
Yeah, Joss is really good about layering jokes in that come back either as something really important or something like an additional funny note coming
Yeah.
later on.
Also, pretty funny.
So,
Not a joke, but really funny that Cap tries to strangle a robot.
Yeah.
yes,
The humans take the most versatile substance and turn it into a frisbee.
Frisbee. Yeah. That's a good.
I'm so glad you asked that because I'd like to take this time to explain my evil plan.
Yeah, I guess my answer will probably go
Yeah.
for Infinity War. That has the best jokes, but not the most jokes.
I'm trying to think of what matches the language joke because Ultron I think is probably the best joke throughout that film. I'm trying to think if any Infinity War top that one because language one is a recurring one that is so integral to both who Stark and Cap are.
And for gosh sake, watch your language. That's not going anywhere anytime soon.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if Infinity War has any good jokes because Infinity War has a lot of great one-liners, but I'm trying to think consistent jokes. You know, I see you've copied my beard.
I am Steve Rogers.
I'm Steve Rich. I'm gonna get that arm.
Hulk going, no.
That's not a good joke. That's terrible. Again, going into that, just Hulk in that movie is a joke.
It's kind of on the equivalent of the Phil line for me, where it means so much, but it's also really funny.
Oh shoot! What was the?
When Stark confronts Thanos for the first time by himself, and he says, "If you throw another moon at me, I'm gonna lose it."
Yeah. What was the one he says to Ebony Maw? Where Ebony Maw's like, "Rejoice, for your death is near," and he goes, "Yeah, but the kid's seen more movies."
Yeah. No, what? No. What he says? Maybe. Yeah. I'm remembering that scene wrong.
Anywho,
Oh,
so are we
yeah.
going Infinity War? Is that unanimous or?
That was mine. Ryder hasn't said his yet.
Yeah. You guys are both Infinity War.
I think it has the best joke, but again, Age of Ultron is the funniest.
I think the best joke is in Age of Ultron. I think,
Okay.
but just barely because Infinity War has a lot of good ones.
Okie doke. Moving on to the next one, number 5 out of the 9 here. This one is, which of these Marvel one-shots has the best written dialogue? This received a total of 4 votes, with the options being The Consultant, A Funny Thing Happened on the Way to Thor's Hammer, and Item 47, where 2 votes went to The Consultant, 1 to Funny Thing, and 1 to Item 47.
All right. Well, consultant for me. I think they do a decent job establishing what's his face. I'm blanking on his name. Baldy.
Sitwell?
Sitwell. Yeah, I think they do a decent job establishing him as a character because that's, I think, his first appearance in the MCU, and the dialogue does a good job delivering a little nugget of behind the scenes in terms of the universe history revolving Abomination. Item 47, they don't make the characters interesting with any of the dialogue. They're forgettable essentially. And I think the Thor's hammer one damages Coulson because he speaks up instead of just shoots or disarms them.
Interesting. I mean, the funny thing happened on the way one has the least amount, but I wouldn't say that's really
in terms of best
means
written
the
dialogue.
best.
Yeah, in terms of best written dialogue, I'd probably go with Consultant. Though I will say a funny thing happened with Thor's Hammer. I subjectively loved a lot of the comedy in that one, so that's still pretty high for me. But Consultant would probably beat it out.
I think my answer is also The Consultant. I think Item 47, the couple, like the thieving couple, their back and forth was pretty good, but everything else of like Sitwell and Shield and everything else interacting, like the two sides of it crossing, I don't think was good. Like the couple to themselves was fine, and then Sitwell talking to the guy in the chair and Shield was fine, but the cross was the messy part. So Consultant has my vote.
All right.
On to the next. Which honorable mention should have been incorporated in our MCU Phase 1 tier list? And then, additionally, where would you have placed them there? So this was after we did our MCU tier list. Here's some honorable mentions that were not in our cut, with the options being Dummy, Dum Dum Dugan, Lady Sif, and Leonard Samson, where Dummy got 67%. Oh, this got 3 votes. Sorry. Where Dummy got 67%, Lady Sif got 33, so 2 and 1, and Dum Dum Dugan and Leonard Samson got 0.
This is an easy one for me. I would pick Dummy, and in terms of mix of quality and fun, probably put him at C.
My vote's also Dummy because I wanted Dummy in there and he got outvoted.
Yeah, yeah, it's the same.
The last minute addition of Mr. Blue.
Yeah, true. And I'd probably also put Dummy in C.
It's easily Civ for me. I don't think Dummy's a character, and I'd put Civ in C.
Okay.
And
again,
who the heck cares about Leonard and Dugan?
Of the Howling Commandos, Dum Dum Dugan
really
is the most
character,
iconic one, like the standout.
He's the standout one, yeah. But I don't even really consider him as a character. He's just part of a group.
I suppose Leonard Samson I thought would be a funny answer. So, all right, moving on. Next one. So that finishes up the MCU ones. So next one was, if another movie was made in the style of The Little Vampire, which monster would you like it to be done about? This only received 1 vote. The options being Creature of the Black Lagoon, Frankenstein's Monster and the Invisible Man, and the Wolf Man.
Creature of the Black Lagoon for me. I think the other choices have been well explored through media, and we don't get much representation for Creature from Black Lagoon.
That is pretty much the exact same logic I'm going to apply. I'm doing Creature from the Black Lagoon.
My answer would probably be the Wolfman. I feel like a lot of Wolfman movies are more adult focused, and there aren't any like werewolf movies for kids. So I think a werewolf kid movie would be really cool.
Teen Wolf.
Younger audience.
I haven't seen Teen Wolf.
Yeah, Teen Wolf.
It just looks kiddie. It's not a kids movie.
I mean, I think it's fine for a kid to watch it, but it's not made for kids.
Okay.
Either the movie or the show. Actually, show I think less so. Show's a little darker, but I don't know. There just doesn't seem to be like a werewolf kid thing. I mean, Hotel Transylvania comes to mind, but that's got tons of monsters. So, but Creature of the Black Lagoon is a good answer. There's not much representation of that character. I think the last thing was Shape of Water.
Yeah, and not a kids movie.
No, that's not a kids movie. All right, next we have, if you had to go trick-or-treating, which of these options would be your last choice to go with you? And this received 3 votes, sorry. And these are all characters from Monster House. The options being Officer Landers, Z, Skull, or DJ's mom, where 2 votes went to Officer Landers and 1 vote went to Skull.
I'm going with Officer Landers.
As your least wanted trick-or-treater?
Yes. Least wanted.
Mine would be Skull. Pretty easy. He'd gobble up all my candy. I think he would be quite annoying over a period of time to actually be with.
Yeah, that goes into my answer. My answer would also be Skull. I just think I'd find him annoying, and we wouldn't get along. I feel like Officer Landers and I could keep striking up jokes.
He's the one I'd want to hang out the most with. Officer.
Actually, probably for me, yeah, too.
Out of this selection,
Officer Landers, yeah. Z, I feel like we wouldn't be conversationalists. It'd be very boring, but I wouldn't dislike it much as Skull. And DJ's mom, I think, would be just whatever, just fine. So another fast one. Going into the last one here, we have for today. What is the best duo to receive while trick-or-treating? And this received 3 votes. The options being a king-sized Hershey bar and a toothbrush, a box of raisins and a Kit Kat, a Mounds bar and some dots, or a Milky Way and a Jawbreaker. And all 3 votes went to king-size candy bar and toothbrush.
Yeah, that's where I'm putting my vote too.
That's where mine is. It's just a very simple one.
It's such a good deal.
To me, Kit Kat raisins is a bad. Mounds and dots, Mounds is a bad. Milky Way and Jawbreaker's a bad.
Hang on.
Toothbrush is neutral.
Hang on. Crimson, you think dots are good?
Yes, I do like
Ew.
dots.
Okay.
I feel the same way about dots, the same way I feel about candy corn. It's the worst thing on the freaking
Oh,
planet.
a wrong opinion then.
Well, you probably
No,
don't.
it's a correct opinion, yeah.
Do you like licorice, Ryder?
No.
Okay, then crows are probably worse. Crows are black licorice flavored dots. I think they're
Good
called
and
crows.
plenty.
Good and Plenty has the candy coating on the outside, but yeah, still licorice candy. I think I'd also probably see the king sized, but the Milky Way and Jawbreaker would probably be in second place for me.
That one's hard between that and the Kit Kat.
For me, the worst thing on this is raisins. I don't want raisins. I'd
So
rather
the
eat
thing is,
dots than
I
raisins.
would throw that away.
So the thing is, I'd probably pick Kit Kat as my second one, and I wouldn't eat the raisins by themselves. I would actually mix them into something.
Ugh. I just don't like when I get what is it? Bread pudding, I think. Bread pudding is so good, but then when I bite into it and it has a raisin in it, you ruined it. Cooked raisins? Ew.
Dude, that's the problem with freaking blueberry bagels or muffins.
No, blueberry muffins
it's
are good.
chocolate chip. It's a chocolate chip muffin. Oh, yeah.
Nah, blueberry stuff is great. But I get what you mean. Same thing.
Yeah, I do. I agree with the false advertising. I hate the false advertising, but I'd like both a chocolate chip muffin and a blueberry muffin separately. I just like to know what I'm biting into beforehand.
That is why you have to sniff every muffin that looks like chocolate chip.
Yeah, like I said, that's my problem with it. I like both, but I'd like to know what I'm getting into first.
I made some cookies. You want some? Oh, what do you make? I made some chocolate chips earlier. Oh, wonderful. Here you go. Oatmeal raisin. Yeah, we ran out of chocolate chips. What?
Yikes. Horrible.
What? So yeah. Okie doke. And that has been post-poll perspective.
Yay! Anyone have any more standard questions they would like to throw in before we go right along to our next thing?
Standard? No. Sprinks usually have a laundry list of questions. Is there one?
I do. I just had the one for Ryder about the ratings.
You didn't have any others?
No, I didn't write down any others down. Trying to think of anything.
I'll just ask a question.
Yeah, I didn't write any.
And it's a Halloween-based season with some extras, and I just want to ask a Halloween question. What is your least favorite kind of costume, I guess, to see people dressed in? You can make it broad.
No,
I don't like people that are too slutty.
Does it count for the teenager saying I'm dressed as a teenager?
I would say that counts.
Okay, that's the bottom of me. That's the worst one.
Person that's like, oh, I'm just dressed up as myself.
Yeah, I'm just myself.
Like
yeah,
that's not
horrible.
A costume.
Yeah.
I will take those who, like a kid or someone who has a t-shirt that says, this is my Halloween costume on the t-shirt over that.
Yeah, that is actually a pretty good answer.
Because to me, that's not a costume. That's just you. You're not in a costume.
I got a secondary question for that, but we'll wait till the end until they'll give our answer.
That's why I asked if it was valid. because it has
that's just,
nothing to the costume. But if you want something that actually has a little bit effort, and I'm sorry to attack it, but I find it so bland and lame. The girls who do the cat whiskers on their face, and that's it to say they're a cat. No ears, no
the drawn-on
nose, no
whiskers.
outfit, just the whiskers on the cheeks. I think that
And
is so
maybe
lame.
cat ears.
No, with cat ears helps, but it's usually just like the makeup, mascara, whatever on the cheeks to be like, oh, whiskers for a cat. I'm a cat, but there's no like the black nose, no ears, outfit, tail. I think that's lame.
Man, you're bringing up some good ones. The first one that came to my mind was just the brand like sheet ghost. Like, oh, I'm just gonna go to
That's okay. Don't
Goodwill,
see those
bring
very
a
often.
cloth. No, but I see them as quite lazy too.
if
They're
you can,
very
you can.
cheap
I think you
costume.
can make that one work. I think it just depends on how creative you get.
Yeah, if you have the squared bottom, like a straight bottom, not as good. But if you like round it or cut it into like, triangle like sharp edges, that gives a little more flair to it. Or if you adapt it off of one of the sheet ghosts from the Peanuts Halloween special. So like you either do the holes all over it or the black dots or
Or and you can make any costume look good, just like
Yeah.
the cat girl. You can
yeah,
give
you
her
can
a
definitely make it
tail,
better.
give a onesie.
But at
Make
least the
any
sheet
costume
ghost
look good.
covers the whole body.
Yeah, I'm just referring to the most basic lazy variant of the sheet ghost. No extra flair. Just I got a comforter, cut holes in it for eyes. That's it.
Yeah. I have one that's on the line that if it's really it's something. It's like if you're the only one wearing that costume, it works. As soon as I see someone else wearing that costume, it's not. It defeats the whole costume. And that for me
Alright.
is if someone's wearing a Where's Waldo costume. If I see two
But where
people
is he?
in
It's
that,
right in
if
front
I
of me.
see two people in that costume, the costume's defeated.
Uh, so no group. What if it's a group of Waldos, but they're like the girl Waldo
That's
and the
cute, but
wizard?
no.
Okay.
It makes it a little
And
better, but yeah.
Ryder, your answer, and you also had like a stipulation you were going to add or something.
No, I was gonna. You guys pretty much took mine.
No,
So
my family likes to write down, or at least my folks like to write down costumes of like creativity or whatever for Halloween. So I kind of grew up with that. Like, when people would come, it's like, oh, cool costume and this and like attention to detail and whatnot. So I did that for a lot of years.
I have a similar question that's different from this one though.
Oh, I also, I guess, sorry for Crimson. I guess in the vein of sheet ghosts being cheap, how do you feel about like the inflatable costumes?
Yeah, see, that was gonna be what I was gonna bring up, but I realized that I think I'm okay with it because that means you put effort in, and as long as you put effort in, I'm usually able to give your costume a pass.
But is it more effort than a sheet ghost?
I was just about to ask a follow-up
That
question to
again,
all of this. And would you prefer a poorly made custom costume or a really professionally done paid one? I would personally prefer a well done paid one than a poorly made
I'll put them in
custom
the
one.
same.
my thing is for that. It's like obviously if you're modeling let's say you're a cosplayer, you want to do the paid one. If you're just having fun, yeah, doesn't matter. Just
Yeah,
do
to me that's the
Oh,
same.
you
cheap
do you.
But
Yeah.
a cheap paid one is worse.
Yeah, a
Yeah,
cheap
cheap
paid
paid
one looks
one
worse.
opposed to a well done paid
Yeah,
one. Yeah.
I will take
Yeah.
your worst looking homemade outfit over than a cheap paid for one.
I would agree with as a blanket statement, yeah.
As a blanket statement, I would also agree. But my thing is, as long as I see that you put effort in, I will genuinely give you a pass. So, like, if you got a cheap store made one, but you made alterations to it, I would give that a pass.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, yeah. If you're like, I want to
Because
be a
now it's custom, it's
Ghostbuster.
not just a store bought.
Yeah, I want a Ghostbuster, but I want it to be slimed. So you get the Ghostbuster outfit, and then you like slime it all, add some green and like ooze look.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I was Jack Sparrow for 3 years in a row, and what I did is as my costume progressively got better because it was a cheap crappy store-bought one the first year. The second year, I actually made alterations to the vest. I actually was able to kind of figure out how to make fluff up my shirt a little, my undershirt a little bit more, and things like that. And then the third year, I think I was pretty cool with Jack Sparrow.
Very cool.
Also, because my mom refused to buy me costumes the next couple of years, so I had to just make my Jack Sparrow one better.
Whatever works.
Yeah. All right, I got a similar question. Who would you want to dress up as from this season?
Ooh.
That is a good question.
Mine's easy, so you
Yeah,
can probably guess.
It's V. Yeah.
V?
Huh.
But which version of V? Dead V or living V?
Ooh. I think I have my answer.
Specifically, I could ask this one. Specifically, my choice would be Cooking V.
Ah, well, that's also
with the
not
apron.
surprising.
That's good.
Yeah.
The gloves.
Apron and gloves. That's
I
the boy.
think my answer is Valiant Knight Ash from Aryan Darkness.
That was the one that came to mind first. But if I had to come up with an alternative,
Crimson, just say
I
turkey.
would go
Just be the
with
turkey.
No, I wouldn't do turkey. I'd be the what was his name? I kept getting his name wrong. The vampire hunter and little
Oh.
vampire.
I want to say
Rocker or something.
Rooker.
Rooker.
Or it's whatever that the
something I
castle
never heard of.
the castle piece in chess. A rook.
Rook.
So
And
like
that's a rook.
so I think it was like
something
Rooker,
close to
Rooker,
that.
Rooker.
Yeah, I think Rooker sounds right. Yeah.
Something like that.
Rockery, I think is what it was.
Rockery?
Rockery? Okay, I'm looking it up now.
Oh, okay. I thought it was Rooker. I don't know. You want to be him though, with a light up cross.
I mean, it's a pretty cool look. Yeah, I think it's pretty cool. And just a vampire hunter. Rookery.
Rookery. Wow. We're all dancing around it.
But Rook is in the name, so you did get that at least.
Yeah. Ooh, sorry, I'm thinking like it'd probably be a pretty hard costume to do, but Benny from Return to Halloween Town.
Yeah, I mean, you would just have to. Would you want a skeleton mask? Or
I'd
just
want
skeleton paint?
I'd want an overall mask that's animatronic.
Well, yeah, then that would be pretty
Yeah.
difficult. How are you guys feeling about a segment? I'm kind of itching for one.
Sure. We have a twist on an old one. Actually, so we did it once before, called Cheap Seat Critics in the Order of the Preferences. Ooh. Which I don't remember if this was last Halloween recap we did that.
I was about to say, yes, it is I guess a year anniversary for the segment.
Oh, lovely.
This was the one where you were giving trick-or-treaters candy, which had point values.
Yes. We all came up with like costumes for a character trick-or-treating as another character, and then we do the candy thing. How this one will go is I'm going to pitch something. I came up with 4 of these, and I got one from Crimson and one from Ryder. So it's a little bit of surprise there. And we'll be pitching something, and from the pitch, we will then scale on our scale from 1 to 10, just a flat 1 to 10, not like objective and a subjective, just like kind of in the middle of your preference on it. Like how important is it? How not important is it? Is it really needed? But to your own individual. It's not a group consensus. That makes sense?
Yeah.
Okay. And on that point, you don't want anyone else's opinion on a subject, just strictly the directed individual.
What do you mean, anyone else's?
Well, like, if you gave a number out of 10 on something,
Yeah.
and then you give your reason why, Ryder or I would not be allowed to say, I kind of agree with that idea or anything, or
Oh, I see.
do we get any input on the, or to converse, I guess, on it.
Sure, we can do that. Yeah, there can be some conversing.
We just can't give our own numbers
I guess
for
in
it.
that vein, because that could change up some other people's. Actually, no, we will all give our numbers first and then explain why in converse. That way, it doesn't affect someone else's placement. I think that's smarter. I don't want like two conversing between two people and the third person actually changes like their answer to something else. So we all give our numbers, it gets placed, and then we talk about it.
All right.
All right. Any other clarifying questions?
Nope, I'm good.
No? Okay.
None from me.
Being that this is kind of, the Halloweeny November-ish recap that's coming out, I think, in December or something. Sorry. We have like 3 Halloweeny ones, I think, and then 3 just other random ones. It'll go Crimson's round is round 3 out of the 6, and Ryder's round is round 5, just to help. So the first one we're going with is masked killers in horror movies. So like if a killer in a movie is masked, so you got Michael Myers, Jason Voorhees, Scream, Leatherface, Jigsaw. So
And the rating being provided is how much we value having a masked killer.
yeah, what is your preference on masked killers? Do you think it's needed? Do you
Specifically in
think
media.
do you prefer it? Do you yeah.
I would say 6.
Oh, okay. Hold on.
Oh,
Sorry, I got to show these to the visual side of things. So Ryder said a 6. Okay.
I can elaborate more, but
No, not yet.
all of our numbers first. Yeah. I'll give it a 7.
Okay. I think I think I'm also on a 7.
we're all in the same. We're on a similar range here.
Okay. Does anyone question as to why? I mean, for me, I guess I can go first to help. I think a mask does give a look or a more iconic look to a character, especially over time, so anyone can play that character, kind of like the Spider-Man effect. Like anyone could be under the mask, anyone can see themselves as the character, opposed to showing a character's face and then if they get recasted or changed, there is a change, like it's still the character being played, but they don't look the same. For example, like Patrick Bateman or Norman Bates or something along those lines where they're not masked. So I think a mask aids to that timeless survivability to a character. And it's a little more unnatural. I know how some people find natural things more alarming, like someone you'd see any day in the streets, but also an unknown change of a mask, I think also adds a horror element to it. So that's why I think it benefits from it, but it's not like 100% needed.
Yeah, I'm pretty close in with that logic as well. I see the benefit in the terms of the mystery. You can do a lot more if you know your killer without a mask going in. Patrick Bateman is an excellent example of like for American Psycho. He doesn't really wear masks while he kills people, but that obviously is a facet to the character because you're not. It's not really a. It's not really. You're not really. It's not really a mystery about who that character is. Um, and it's the mask factor for me really kind of depend. It makes the mystery factor a lot more important. So if your film or story is going to place more emphasis on the mystery aspect, I obviously think having a mask is more useful and more iconic, but it's not necessarily needed.
and mine's a blend of the two. I don't really have much more to add on there. I guess I would be more leaning towards adding value to it for the potential to play with the mystery side of things. But the striking iconicity, I guess, if I could say that, iconicity. I don't know if that's made up, but of a mask does add some value to it.
Okay. I guess with that, we'll go into the next one, which is Sorry, that's a own little joke there with witches, because the next one's kind of related to a witch. Second one is Polyjuice Potion.
Any stipulations on context of it?
Yeah.
In the book and or movie.
Well, is it like how it's used or the issues it causes, or like
Both.
okay? I give it a 5.
Okay. I'm gonna give it a 6.
I'm gonna be a comedy guy here because his numbers came to my head at the beginning. I'm gonna give it a 4.
Wow. All right. I guess the reason for me, I like it on what it is. You're able to change form and become someone else physically, but it doesn't alter your voice. So add some added challenge to it. You could argue, why doesn't it change your voice? Because the vocal cords should also shift.
Would be included
But
in
that's
that. Yeah.
besides the point. That's just an error on the concept. But uh, the reason it's kind of a 5 and not higher is because it exists in Harry Potter. It should be a real issue in the wizarding world. I mean, they even use it to break into the Ministry of Magic
They do.
and Gringotts, and there's it's so easy to attain. Even though they try to play it off in Chamber of Secrets that it takes months to make. It doesn't matter if it takes months to make. The
Yeah. So
resources need to be
Well,
it takes
so
it
hard to
takes
get.
months to distill alcohol. Like good
yeah,
wine.
it takes
I'm
months
sure
to
it's
create when they were getting base ingredients from instruction manual. As they get older, I think they were just able to find it already made.
Probably. So
it
I
might
think
be that's a
in
problem
the
if it's
universe
over
it's
the
a big
counter.
issue.
Yeah.
But
Uh,
as an item, it's cool. So 5.
as an item, it's cool. I don't like it what it does to the universe, which is why it's a 4. So it's very similar logic from me.
Okay. To me, the uses of it in the movie, in the story, prolong the story for the need of it. There isn't just like a willy-nilly reason for it, like Fred and George don't just use it to make a prank kind of thing. So it isn't a the use of it in the terms of the story is for a serious reason. And I think it's a pretty cool potion amongst the potions to use, and I guess maybe the most popular one in Harry Potter out of them all.
And they even use it as a twist for the 4th film.
They do, which I think is really cool. So I am fond of it. I think they use it enough throughout the films because it's not just like a one film and done. Like Liquid Luck, it comes throughout
Or time
multiple.
turners.
Well, Time Turner's not a potion, but yes, another item like that. Um, but I definitely see the problems with it, and why don't they use it more, or why just more of
Why
like
is it easy to come
why is it
by?
easy to come by? Why do second year kids are able to get their hands on it? So a lot of things with that with the questioning, but I think overall it's more of the positive for the usage of it that appears in the films and whatnot. Unfortunately, I can't remember the books. I haven't. It's been a very long time. So yeah, I mean, again, all those problems don't make it higher for me. But all right. With that, we'll go to
Fine.
Crimson's pitch, where I
All
don't know
right.
what this is. I just know what it looks like.
Exactly. I kind of did it a little vague, so you would get a little bit of a surprise as well. And this is uh, people being dummies for jump scares on porches for Halloween.
I see.
The
So
classic, oh, there's a scarecrow on the bench. Is it a person or is it a dummy?
okay,
And
just the fake dummy approach, not like the candy is on their lap or they're off to the
it can
side.
be.
Okay, either or with the
It could
candy
be a
placement.
variant of it. It's just
Okay.
yeah,
Just a scare actor at a porch for trick or treating.
yeah, a scare actor. I guess that's a good way of putting it.
Solid is 7.5.
Okay, Writer's a 7.5. I'm a 4.
I'm at an 8. Yeah, I think I feel good with 8.
Okay. Oh, definitely a gap on this one.
So why a 4, Springs?
Because to me, trick or treating is more for younger kids at a certain age. It's like you're a little too old, and that's the whole thing of trick or treating. Where it gets to, it's like you look a little too old for trick or treating, but you keep the spirit alive. But then, like at a certain, like that's the whole teenager like guess thing. Like as long as you put effort into it, but maybe when you hit like 18 or like your 20s, then you're like actually too old. Like you don't see adults going out trick or treating. So I feel like the scare actor gets more of them for the like, oh, that's a good scare, scaring an older kid. When it comes to children trick or treating and going up to houses, scaring the children seems to fall on cruelty for me because sometimes the kid gets so scared they cry, they upset, they run back to their parents and they don't get the candy. And I don't think I've ever really seen the scare actor take the candy and go towards the kid with it to like give them the candy. They just kind of let the kid go. And to me, I feel like that's more on the line of a mean trick for trick or treating. Um, but I don't see it as like horrific or terrible because trick or treating is supposed to be scary. But yeah, that's why I just have it at a 4.
Well, pretty
I
much
agree
the
with you.
reasons you laid out is why it's high for me. Because it's trick or treat. You can say that, well, it's on the trick or treater to decide whether they provide a trick or treat. But I think the engagement of the homeowner of wanting to scare, I think, is great involvement. And some of my favorite memories of trick or treating is my sister getting scared to go up to a house because you can't tell if there's a dummy or a person there. And I think most people that do the porch jump scare stuff usually have a decent judgment on who to scare. They don't usually scare like 3-year-olds. Usually, them just being there is enough.
True, but
From the ones I've seen.
does the porch scares take out trick or? Well, I mean, you said trick or treat. It's kind of trick and treat. You get the candy and a scare.
Yeah.
Does it take away trick or treating because you don't knock and say it? You just go up to the bowl.
I mean, it depends on the house. Some there's someone on the bench, and then you still have to knock at the door. There's some where there's a bowl of candy next to the person. So I think
Okay.
there's enough variant on that. It sounds like you prefer the one where you have to walk by them and knock. Then
I think trick or treating, you should say trick or treat. When you go up to a house and just take candy, I don't really see that as trick or treating.
I guess when you went up to someone that was at a bench and they had a bowl of candy, did you just take candy or did you say
At
trick or treat?
it was
I said
up
trick or
it was
treat.
up to a certain age. When I was younger, I think I would say trick or treat and extend my hand or extend. I wouldn't take the candy from the person. And either like a parent or someone would get the candy for me. As I got older, then I would do it myself and say like Happy Halloween or thank you, because I just didn't know if it was a dummy or not. And if I'm
Mhm.
talking to a dummy, who cares? I don't know, whatever.
Okay. Oh, I guess Ryder, if you want to weigh in on all this stuff.
Yeah, so funny enough, the reason mine isn't higher is for the reasons you laid out, Spring. Because there are some people who are in it for the mean aspect. Usually they're like the older college kids or stuff like that. Traditionally, but from my experience, most people are just generally good people, and they're a pretty good judge of who they can scare and who they can't when they're coming to do the trick or treating experience. And I don't have a preference as whether they come to the door and say trick or treating. I take trick or treating as like the tradition of walking around house to house, not necessarily going up the door and ringing the doorbell and saying trick or treat. Um, so I don't really have any opinions regarding that. But I think the experience of having the owners getting involved makes the experience a lot more memorable and a lot more fun as a general sense. So that's why I lean higher on the scale.
Okay. I Funny enough, I just remembered I also have some experience with this. I was a scare actor for, I think, 2 years of Halloween.
You were the enemy.
Kind of. We had the car in the parking lot, and I sat on a chair in front of the car, so you couldn't really see me coming up to the house. And I was off to the side, so people would walk up to the door and trick or treat. So I'd either do it like after that. That way they couldn't really see me because they're fixated, going to the door to trick or treat. So I could see them coming up, knowing how old they are. So if they were young, like I'd let them go, and like if they were older group, then I'd scare them. And I think I was just a shadow. I was just like a fully dark cloak kind of look, and like had a mesh over my face of darkness. So I'd scare them, and depending if they were older, I think coming up the street, I would scare first, then say I think they tried to get candy from me, and I'm like, no, it's up at the door, go to the door. So they'd go up to the door, and I'd move around the car, so then they'd come around and see that I'm gone, and there's just a chair there. And that was my favorite part, I think, because they were scared to leave the premise of the driveway. But I think it was just all like on tell. But even still, like,
Yeah, that's what
I
a
was like,
lot of it
that
comes
sounds
down
even
to.
worse. Because at least with the bench sitters, you can look and see that there's somebody there.
the whole time, and not, yeah. But again, it's the age of the kid, and I didn't do it
Yeah,
where it
that's
takes away the trick or treating aspect. So I'm like, I'm not lower on this. I just see it more as a negative than a positive thing. But Crimson, that was a very good run, good pitch.
Yay.
However,
makes
that
mine feel worse.
no, don't think that. This just kind of goes into, those were the 3 kind of Halloween themed. Now we got like just really random ones, to be honest. Next round is Apex Legends: The Alternator, the SMG.
Ooh,
Is this involving hop ups?
Yes, hop ups, magazine capacity, barrel stabilizer when the game had it, when the game hadn't had it, throughout seasons. Any iteration of the alternator, skins included.
oh, skins included.
5.
I would take an alternate over a lot of weapons in the game. So I'm probably on a 6.5 to 7, but I'll settle on a 6.5 for now because I'm thinking of like my range and weapons that I would take. I would take an alternator over almost every energy weapon except for the Nemesis.
Well, it's not an
You know,
energy weapon.
it's kind
Oh,
of
okay. I'm like, it's not an energy
yeah,
weapon, but
yeah. I know, but I mean, but I'm saying like over weapons in the game in general.
yeah, I am also at a
And I would
5.
probably I
Also,
would
you went into
probably
full
take,
explanation before I was able to get my score, Mister.
yeah, my
So,
bad, my bad.
but it's okay. I'm at a 5.
Yeah, it's not a piece of trash, but it's not my go to. The hop ups it's had that I've used, because I'm sure they've added new ones to it that I haven't used. Um, I just never used like the one that, I mean, a lot of people used it for the extra shield damage perk. I forgot what that one was called, but I never really used that. And due to its weird shape, I don't think a lot of the skins look very good for it. My favorite one probably being the first year's Halloween skin that they had, where it's got like the scarecrow
Oh
skin
yeah,
on
the
it
scarecrow and
with the
hay
hat.
look.
Yeah. So it's got a decent skin, but as a whole, the skins aren't great. As a gun, it's average. So that's where I'm at.
Okay, I'm at a 5 because I'm more of an R45 guy. So an alternator for me is a placement of a light weapon that I can exchange all its attachments for when I find an R45. And a hammer point hop up on an R45 I like a lot more than the hop up on the alternator, which I'm also blanking on the name of. But it's okay. I think I like it better than the R99 because the kickback on an R99 without a stock is outrageous. For me, it's just a placeholder for a light weapon, and I like it more than the P2020. But the gosh, 301. The 301 is like the top dog kind of gun to get. So it's okay. I think I run light weapons a lot, but especially back in the day when the Spitfire was light weapon. But yeah. So it's just for me, just it's a gun I don't run a lot, and I just kind of hold it as a secondary until I get something better.
Yeah, again, that's the main reason is I also hold it mostly as a secondary, but I would still take it over a lot of other weapons in the roster. I already started my explanation, but only energy weapon I would take over it is the Nemesis, which
Nemesis.
means everything else is beneath it, and that's already a lot of guns.
Yeah.
And then it's probably above.
You'll take an
Uh,
alternator over a triple take?
I would, yes.
Okay.
I would prefer a longbow to a triple take.
Yeah. No, yeah.
I was like, I don't
Oh, yeah.
recall Ryder ever using a triple.
No, I was just asking as a
usually
weapon
mine.
because a triple take
I
can
was
kind
a-
of be used as a shotgun without aim down.
I was a big triple take user in the first like 5 seasons, but I kind of fell off when I did realize I actually liked to aim. So I liked trying too hard to aim. I still use the triple take occasionally, but I will take an ulti over it typically because because spoilers, I guess for Apex, when I'm running with you guys, I don't typically feel the need to fill the sniper slot because that's what usually you do, Springs. So
That's
I don't.
true.
There's a reason why it gets elevated above a lot of even the snipers for me. And I would put it above half-light weapons, obviously above P2020. I'd put it above. I find it more comfortable to use than an R99 because the it's not something I don't have to aim down sights for the alternator. That's something that took a lot of time for me to learn. It's not a gun you aim down sights with, and that just took a lot out of me to finally figure it out.
Yeah, especially with a barrel
Um,
stabilizer.
Yeah, and then R301 would go above it. I would probably put the Hemlock above it. I would put the car above it. I would put a fully kitted R99 above it, but any other version would probably fall beneath it. Um, so yeah, it kind of makes sense for me that at least with my playstyle when I'm with you guys, it would be a little bit higher on the tier list
Okay.
because I tend to run mid to close range while you guys tend to long range or close range.
Relatively. None of us are shotgun people.
Yeah, I do use shotguns, but again, that's even rarer than.
I used to be a Mastiff guy, but then they nerfed it. Back when it was a
no,
care
same.
package weapon.
Yeah, Mastiff was pretty fun to use for the first couple years in the game.
All right. With that, Ryder, for your lead.
What?
For your lead of the
Perfect.
fifth one.
Oh,
Like Crimson.
I'm delivering it.
Yeah,
Okay.
well, Crimson delivered his, so.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't know I was delivering it. I don't have a presentation for this one, so my question for you guys is just Guillermo del Toro's behind the scenes Pinocchio.
Crimson, did you see it?
Pretty specific. I did.
Okay.
I put it at a 7.
I have it at a 9.
I also have it as a 7.
Yeah, for me, it adds a lot of cool insight to how it's created. I mean, that's kind of the whole idea of it, and it's cool, but I'm not one that's like, I need to know what's behind the scenes. It's like extra sprinkles, and that's what I see it as. And I think giving it higher would push me towards the I have to have it, and I really don't. So 7.
I love behind the scenes quite a bit. This one was very small and condensed, so it's not the most in-depth one I'm familiar with. But I still enjoy behind the scenes stuff, and I didn't necessarily need or want this one, but I did end up watching it for the podcast, at least the recap, I think. A recap. I don't even know if it was that season's recap, but yeah, I'm at a 7 for it.
Okay. Probably, I don't know how shocking this is. Any behind the scenes of a film, I think, is really helpful for the film. I think I've said this multiple times, but prior knowledge of things towards a film helped me understand more of the direction of a film's process to the final product. And when that's publicly shared in some form of behind the scenes or whatnot, I find that very helpful, very important to the craft, to show the care and the dedication and whatnot to the final product of the film and everything. The reason why it's a 9 out of 10, because I don't think it's needed to be seen every single time for every single movie, but I have it high up because it's very nice to see the intricacies of the detail and work and of all the elements of what goes into a film and how it went into said film for what it is. And for this one specifically, knowing like they had such huge models of Pinocchio for scenes, and like the small little bits and other scenes, like showing the range of what they did to get the detail ornately made.
All those different faces.
It's such
they
a,
all
it's
the
such a
different
unique
yeah.
it's such a unique version of Pinocchio as well. I am very grateful we do have this one because there's so much more insight to be gained because of the unique direction they decided to
Yeah.
take the story.
Also, for being Guillermo del Toro, not only is the movie all a fantastical fantasy wonder, but the behind the scenes has this fantasy whimsy to it just for who he is and what he does. So now I think that bumps it up a little more, or like likeness of it higher from being seen that. But I think any behind the scenes can be pretty high. This one is interesting to watch. I know there are some behind the scenes that are very boring. They're all the talking head interviews kind of things and doesn't really show much of the production, just the cast, crew, or actors on the project. Can be a little slower and buggering, but I think it's still very cool and to see. So I hope that makes sense to you why
For
I
a
gave it a
writer,
9
I don't
then.
think that was bad.
But no, not at all. No, don't think that was a bad option. I remember your first initial what was your first initial thing? Like a specific, like
it was a more broad thing.
yeah, it was
But
more
I didn't
broad
but
than
I
a
didn't
specific, so.
understand the but I didn't understand the
That's true. I just gave kind of like an idea of what this is. We had him running it. So we're going to the last one, which possibly might be the most random. So I'm curious how it is. Last round, salt and pepper.
As a duo,
As a salt and pepper. The spice.
solid 8.
2.
I use both quite frequently.
I am also at an 8.
I think you need to go first, Crimson.
Crimson a flippin' 2?
There's not a lot that I would put pepper on.
Do you put pepper on mac and cheese?
No.
Is there pepper in your chicken tenders?
That's the only reason it's not a 1. Is because it's on my chicken tenders. I just don't have a high value towards it. If it was just salt, it'd be higher because I use that in my pasta, and it's in a bunch of other foods.
Do you salt and pepper bacon?
No, absolutely not.
I don't think he eats bacon.
No, he eats bacon. That's why I
crispy
asked.
Bacon. It's the pepper is what's dragging it down. It's not an ingredient I really use. And as you both know, and the audience has heard little trinkles of, is I'm pretty particular with my food.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, mac and cheese or die. Got it. I know.
Yeah, you're not a peppered cheese guy.
Yeah, pepper on mac and cheese is. It kind of depends on how like flavorful the cheese is of whether I want the pepper on it or not.
So, I have different kinds of macaronis I make. My fanciest has a pinch of pepper. That's it.
That's still pepper.
It's almost useless. You can't even taste
pepper.
it.
Well, I mean,
No. You wouldn't use it if it's useless.
It's because it was in the recipe. I shrunk how much it was from the recipe.
Yeah,
I put more paprika in it than pepper.
Yeah. Pepper's a good accenting flavor if you're using it right, but also it could have just add spice. But yeah.
Plus, with it in mac and cheese, I don't like sometimes where there's crunch. Don't like that.
No, I agree. You don't want texture of the pepper, really. You don't want texture of either.
Yeah.
If you're getting texture of salt, you're begging for a heart attack.
That's too much. Texture of salt or texture of pepper, I think, is like that could turn off the food. It's flavor enhancers, not the flavor itself, kind of thing. That's why it's seasoning. I have it so high because I think salt and pepper on like almost any dish is the basic seasoning needed to make anything boost in flavor. Reason why it's not higher is because there are dishes that don't need salt and pepper. Do I want salt and pepper on my ice cream? No. Do I want it on a birthday cake? No.
Have you had a salted chocolate birthday cake before?
Yes, I have, but that's just salt. And salt, that's why Crimson was specific of the bearing, because salt, I think, is far more needed in a lot of more things than pepper does. But adding pepper as a duo to a lot of things, I don't want pepper on a chocolate cake.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Okay. Yeah, I'm kind of in agreement. There's a lot of things I would add both to, and there's a lot of things I would only add a one to.
So yeah. Well, I guess that's all. But that was Order of the Preferences, a new little twist spin on the classic. Well, I guess it just takes the name. It's essentially.
Every time you say Order of the Preferences, I just immediately hear the Order of the Phoenix song in the back of my head for some reason.
Well, that's what the
visual looks like.
So, anyway, did you guys like that one?
I did. That was fun.
It worked out.
I was a little worried there at first because I didn't have a Halloween themed one.
No, that's okay.
Once it became random.
That's okay. I saw the 6 collectively, so I'm like, we'll do half and half, which is fine. And that's, if we ever do it again, that's a thing where it's completely random. It can be themed, not themed. It could be 5 themed, 1 isn't, because you really want to know what the 1 isn't is going to turn out to be. But yeah, how do we feel about a fan favorite segment?
Are you serious? Are we doing this?
Nah, we can skip it.
Is it really happening?
Nah, we can skip it if we want. If we want to make time, we don't.
No,
critics on critics.
Dude, I hear that's a fan favorite.
And I'm a fan.
And oh boy, I'm a fan.
All right,
Crimson. What do you got for us today?
I didn't do a lot because I didn't do 9 things because I didn't want this to take forever. And I will say, this selection was difficult. A lot of the reviews for a lot of things we covered were boring.
Oh, you didn't find a 5 out of 5 Thanksgiving or Thanksgiving?
Oh, I mean, there were plenty of those, but they were all saying the same thing.
Oh, best movie ever.
Or they were just quoting the movie. I love the gobble gobble bit. Oh, cool, thanks. We can't really critique
this goes down in cinematic history as the best film ever made. 5 stars.
So a lot of them were all like one sentence and all pretty much regurgitating the same stuff. So this was kind of hard for some reason this season.
Crazy for having more choices.
That's true. So we will start with Return to Halloween Town on LetterBoxd with 5 stars, 10 out of 10 by Reese. I feel bad I didn't realize the main actress changed until last year. This one was and will always be my favorite Halloween Town movie. I just wish they didn't sideline, and in parentheses, or barely mention Sophie, as this film is the previous film. Oh, sorry. This film and the previous film. I'm pretty sure she was more powerful than Marnie this whole time. I don't know how you can claim this is your favorite one and not realize the actress changed.
That first sentence saying I didn't realize the actress changed kind of implies to me that this isn't their first one they saw.
This is the second desktop window one. You know, this is the movie they put up on the background noise all the time. They don't necessarily watch it.
True. I would be okay with this if this is implying this is the first one they saw and the one they got attached to, for like the world and the whimsy of it, like that really drove them in, and the other like actress wasn't this original one to them, so the other ones felt off. I can believe that, but saying that they went to this one and the actress they didn't realize tells me that this was not their first viewing or the first one they saw. So I don't agree with this.
Yeah, it's pretty egregious to give this like a 10 out of 10. Great movie, and you didn't notice like the fundamental biggest change.
I think the first Halloween Town movie is the only one that should get a 10 out of 10, and that's for people with nostalgia of the movie. I think that's it.
I can see the logic you're playing.
I don't think a single one of these movies to me is a 10 out of 10. If someone's like, oh yeah, it's a 10 out of 10 movie, I think that tells me a lot about the person.
Yeah, that it was a childhood film. All right, with that, we'll move on to the next one. For The Little Vampire, also on Letterbox. Actually, I think all the ones I got this time were on Letterbox. Rotten Tomatoes and Metacritic weren't really working for me this time.
Oh,
I don't know why. So Little Vampire, half star, so 1 out of 10 by Real Reviewer.
If you say so.
Yeah, that's their name. I'll catch hell for this, and thankfully I have not been blinded by the nostalgia beam at this is the first time ever seeing this movie. And then in parentheses, forced upon. This movie pisses me right the hell off. With flying physics that don't make sense, vampires walking in direct sunlight, but the film acts if they are not. Plot holes are as far as the eye can see. CGI cow vampires that fly and shit on vehicles while laughing about it. And an ending that has the illusion of the vampires forgetting, in parentheses, air quotes, uh, who saved them, but a fucking whistle bonks their memory back to. Man, I am freaking going nuts this morning. With the memory back in shape. What?
huh.
Okay, I get it. I am a grown ass man complaining about the interest. Can we restart?
I can tell you haven't practiced this beforehand. No, keep
Oh,
going. Keep going. You got this. Power through.
okay, there we go. My mic disconnected and my phone fell. What a calamity. I'll
Can
do
you
the
be
last
slightly
paragraph.
professional? Where's the bell?
I'll consider it. All right. Okay, I get it. I'm a grown ass man complaining about the intricacies, there we go, of a childhood film many have deemed their favorite childhood memory. But this was forced upon me, and all I ask is for some damn grounding, some self respect for fucking cinema. I'm sorry, I'm done, and don't at me. Bring up a lot of the points that we brought up of the daylight scene of them like walking to the barn, but it was supposed to be night. The cows being horrible. The ending where they forget them and the whistle fixes it. Just kind of fun to see it.
Yeah, quite a powerful critique for giving it a 1 star. Did they walk into sunlight as vampires?
See, the only thing I could think of was what I provided of them walking to the barn and you could see the sun rising in the back, but then it cuts back to it being nighttime. Sprinks, you and I called it out as like a continuity error. That's the only thing
Yeah.
that came to mind, but I don't know if that's what they're referencing. So that might be off. Can't tell.
Huh.
I wonder if this damaged their relationship with whoever forced them to watch it
Oh,
because they had
probably
to
a
mention
little.
it twice in this
It
review that
sounds
it was
like it.
Yeah,
forced.
probably a little. I think from what they wrote is valid to the rating.
Yeah, I
Reading
can
that, I can buy
understand.
it's a half star.
I can
Yeah,
buy it
I
to
can
half
buy what.
star. I don't know if I would consider it actually that harsh to it because they started off saying they had no nostalgia for the movie. So going into the movie, pretty much how Ryder did, it's not the greatest movie, but holding all the weight of not wanting to watch the movies by since they said they were quote unquote forcibly to watch it already puts a bad start to it. So they beat on
I
it.
was only forced under contract. It's a little bit.
Well, not you. I
different.
meant the writer here, the real
Yeah, I know.
critique or whatever
I know.
their name is. Um, so I think they started off on the wrong foot by what it sounds like, which could explain more into why they severely disliked it. So I think their critique is valid, all considered.
Yeah, I'm not seeing any hypocrisy here. The next one is from someone named Alex for Coraline on a Letterbox
Oh no.
with a half star, 1 out of 10. Crap, crap, and crap. This may be biased because my ex made me watch this first thing on our first hangout before eating my face. Decent movie if my eyes were closed and if it was muted and if the television was off and if it wasn't even produced.
Holy crap. What did they not like about it?
I don't think they liked it. Yeah.
What was it that they didn't like?
Yeah, I don't.
Mute the
this is new
TV?
for me.
It sounds bad? It sounds like any other movie.
Decent movie if I had my eyes closed, it was muted.
See,
and it
okay.
was never on.
Yeah, first
or
point,
produced.
if my
If
eyes
they
were
like
closed,
podcasts.
I guess they don't like the look of stop motion. I can understand that. They think it may look like ugly animation. Okay, I can get that because not every animation, there's so many styles and they all look different. I can tell that's at the bottom of the list. But the fact that they want it muted, maybe one of the voices of the character is like nails on a chalkboard to them, maybe. But it sounds like any other movie. It's not like crazy audio.
Yeah, and I don't know what about this is crap.
Well, if they were a big fan of the
Weird.
book
Yeah.
and they were against YB, I could believe that.
Maybe,
But
yeah.
yeah, I don't know why they disliked it so much.
Very passionate about it.
Disagree.
Coraline was the example I was bringing up where everyone was just saying the same darn thing. They were like, this was scary when I was a kid, and I'm still scared as an adult.
Oh, I can believe that.
I spent like 10, 15 minutes just reading reviews. I'm like, that's just the same thing.
That hurts.
We'll go with Plane, Trains, and Automobiles next by Drooler on LetterBoxd with a half star.
Oh no.
1 out of 10. Unfortunately, a laugh-free zone. John Candy is annoying.
Stop.
Steve Martin.
I'm done. Oh no. Oh.
Steve
Oh,
Martin,
no.
untight and uninvolving. It drops to a half for being a John Hughes film, and so should be so much better. You just don't care. An unwatched 80s film. I don't know why they wrote that. Should have just watched Midnight Run again.
Yeah, that's just again
Being how much different comedy is in that movie and saying there's not a single joke. I don't know what this person finds funny.
A laugh-free zone, and John Candy is annoying. Yeah, I don't know what they're on, because I think even if it's not funny, I think the drama with his wife being dead is worth being more than 1 out of 10.
Maybe they thought that was a joke.
They have a weird sense of humor.
Yeah. That's just awful. I don't know. For me, there's so much character in the film that even if they hated the comedy, there's still plenty of other things going on.
Yeah, I have a slight sinking suspicion since they said John Hughes is the reason it gets half a star. So all like John Hughes is more known teen stuff, Ferris Bueller, Breakfast Club, and all that.
Yeah.
I feel like maybe this review is written by someone of that age and can relate more to the high school look. So being like a John Hughes thing, they watched this Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, and it was too adult focused. So maybe when they're older, they'll like it more, but it didn't like fit their age. Like I'm trying to find a reason for it.
Yeah, I mean, based off their comment, they value Hughes, but think this is bad work of his. So maybe you're right about them, the age group thing. All right. Next, we'll go for V for Vendetta. LetterBoxd. Half star. Continue the trend. 1 out of 10 by Alice.
Jesus Christ.
I would like to point out, because I like to do it, they don't use any capitals, and they don't end the end of the paragraphs with periods. Just
Okay.
throw
Oh,
it
it's
out
just
there.
spiel writing. Okay.
I'm actually impressed that they've made something that's incredibly shit. I actually don't even know what to say about it. It is lazily written. It feels like 15 different people wrote each scene and didn't talk to each other about what the actual plot was. It should be classed as a comedy for how much we laughed at how stupid it was.
Who's this we?
That's a good question.
Yeah,
Is
I don't
Alice
know.
more than one person?
We are Alice.
Maybe. Or they just thought it was people,
Maybe
you know?
they existed in a different reality and saw a different film. If they are we, you know.
So does it feel like 15 people were writing every scene and didn't
No.
communicate with each other about the plot?
No, not at all.
Not at all.
Is there a
Yeah,
scene
I
in the
feel the
movie at
same way.
all that's like that?
I feel like the only scenes that would have had a lot of people conversations, like if there was more than 50 people talking about a specific scene to write it, I feel like there would be like the bigger scenes because they wanted to consult people on it.
I know there's like tone shifts. Maybe they're thinking like the breakfast scene, where it's like, I made you breakfast. Oh, nice. So it's nice and cute. And then it's like, oh, your hands. Oh, now it's a horror movie. So put the gloves back on. Okay, now it's back to nice. And then it's like, okay, let's talk about this. So then it's a drama movie. And then let's talk about your parents. And now it's a sad story. If that's what they mean.
Maybe.
Like, I'm just trying to think of any example that would fit. But even still, that's not how that works.
It just sounds like they watched a different movie.
Kinda.
Because I feel like a
Kinda
lot
does.
of the dialogue in this is pretty eloquent.
I wonder
Very
how they
sharp.
how they feel about the V's. The 53 like V's in the sentence thing.
That they tried.
Yeah.
Yeah, that for me that's them trying to write. I don't understand.
I bet Alice would be like, yeah, 5 of those were made up words.
Well, considering she has no grammar, I'm sure she thought half of those
Well.
were made up words.
Also, I'm sorry I give all these critics like the same voice. This like low voice of like a.
I guess that's kind of a pattern that's emerged. Huh? All right, and the last one we'll go with is for Thanksgiving.
Oh, is it
by
high?
Harrison.
Is it a high grade?
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
It's a 5-star, 10 out of 10. A lot of the middle ratings are just boring, which is why I rarely pick them out. This movie is a masterpiece. 2008 was truly the most important year for cinema, and this movie is able to rival other masterpieces like The Godfather, Back to the Future, and Shrek. It was snuffed at the Oscars in 2008 by No Country for Old Men, when the turkey went, nice tits, bitch. I cried tears of joy at how beautiful and powerful the line was. It's the most heartwarming, funny, and beautiful movie ever made. Truly, Jordan Downey is a master of the art of filmmaking. Thank you, Jordan, for this masterpiece of film. 10 out of 10.
It's a joke review.
This is a troll.
It's a joke review. Yeah.
Troll.
Yeah, there's no way this is not serious.
Nope. This is a friend of Jordan, or something. Yeah, to like boost
Got snuffed
ratings.
at the Oscars. Can you believe No Country for Old Men beat?
I think the only thing in that sounded true was 2008 was a good year for cinema.
Yeah, that's also true.
Yeah. And it's weird that they followed that up by saying movies not from 2008.
That's true. They're not like, oh, it's better than
Godfather,
Kung
Back
Fu
to the
Panda.
Future.
It's not better than Iron Man, The Dark Knight. It's
So
Yeah,
I found it amusing.
big joke.
Also, audience, I hope you appreciate how much I've cursed today. It's a record.
It's a rarity.
Yeah, I'm impressed with you.
These
I
will not be
enjoyed it.
cut out. You can use these for fan edits if you'd like.
I know I am.
Maybe I can talk to the editor about bleeping it out or something. All right, and
Editor, don't
that's
bleep
it.
it
Like
out.
I said, trying to limit, especially for how long this one was. So that's it. For Critics on
Okay,
Critics.
that was a good one. You seem to always find ones that get under our skin.
I try.
You never get one that's like,
I-
we're in the wrong. That actually sounds pretty good. I don't know if we've come across one like that.
No, I try to find ones that are disagreeing to our opinions, which is, I mean, Sprinks, you picked up on it. You've guessed several times on these. Like, oh, I bet this one's going to be this score.
Yeah, I'm like, oh well, we've done okay. It's a movie you like
We all
all consensually like, so it's got to be low.
Yeah, it creates conflict.
Easier conversation.
True,
Yeah.
but I don't. I think I'd just like to pitch this. Maybe if you can find one, it might be hard to find or doesn't work. But if there's like one you could find that like we like the movie or dislike the movie, and someone dislikes it or likes it equally to us, but they have a pitch or a theory or an idea or something that we didn't discuss for us to then discuss kind of with them. I think that would be kind of cool.
I feel like I did one in one recap that had a theory none of us picked up.
Oh.
That's gonna bug me now.
Well, it's not the Wizard of Oz
But yeah,
one,
that is a
'cause
hard
that's you.
request. I guess I'll keep an eye out for that.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. I guess I can ask the question is how did we think this season went, or do we have any others we would like to throw in?
I did have one more Halloween related one I wanted to ask.
Ooh,
and
lovely.
It did get touched on by Sprinks a little bit. And it was going to be, what's your view on older trick-or-treaters? And this could be 18, 20-year-olds. It could be 40-year-olds for all I care. Just
If a
past kid
70-year-old
age.
woman showed up to my door and said trick or treat, I would give him candy.
That's fine. What about a 50-year-old man?
Yeah. Same logic.
Is
would
anyone
apply
knocking
here.
at your door getting candy?
If they say trick or treat, absolutely.
What about you, Sprinks? Would you be begrudging, like,
Only
okay, but in your mind you're like, you're too old for this?
there's only one reason I would not give them candy is if it's someone probably in the age range of 20 to 70. I think that's a good range. That was 50 years if they're not in costume.
Okay.
Yeah, they gotta put in some effort. If they're like, escorting like a bunch of kids and they're old,
Yeah.
and
If they just want,
I'll sneak them a piece of candy.
Yeah, I'm not.
But
I just don't want to hand out free sugar that I would give to a kid who has the spirit of Halloween in them, kind of thing. If this
Yeah, no, that's
person
kind of-
has the spirit of Halloween and they're going with it, sure, you get your candy. Maybe not a whole handful, but you will get candy.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of how I am too. I don't judge you for your age as long as you got the spirit and the passion for it. You're getting something.
Yeah.
Mostly candy.
Especially nowadays that it seems like the population of trick-or-treaters is declining.
Well, we live in a world where no one trusts each other anymore.
That's
Everyone's
true, especially
scared of
when
their neighbors.
Yeah, but 40 years ago, it was all talks about putting razors in apples.
Yeah,
That doesn't
I
happen.
wasn't around then, so I don't know how much that impacted.
Yeah, the
I'm
war
saying
on
that did
Halloween has
happen,
been-
but
the
it
war
doesn't
on
happen.
Halloween has been a long one, and there's a lot of things that go into why it's slowly declining.
Yeah, but it's a little
So-
sad.
Sprinks, because you seemed a little passionate about it when it was originally kind of touched on. You said you'd give them candy if they had the spirit. Are you judging them still, though? Like, you're kind of old for this. I appreciate you're trying, but
No, I
I
won't.
shouldn't.
I'm not judging the age of the person. I will judge the amount of dedication into the outfit and into the costume.
Okay. And yeah, I'm pretty much agreeing. If they have an outfit, they're getting candy. If I were to hand out candy.
If I have a 45-year-old woman come up and knock on the door and has that just the whiskers of a cat and trick or treats, she'll get 1 starburst.
Knocking Starburst there. What
I'm
about
just
a mint?
I'm just giving the effort.
Yeah,
No.
he's handing
A
them a
mi-
cheese
a mint's-
candy bar. That's what he's doing.
Yeah, a mint is
Getting rid of his dots.
yeah. She gets a thing of
Mint is
dots.
rude.
A mint's
Hey,
rude.
that's good. Well,
I like mints. That's just me.
mints is rude.
You trick or treat and you get
Is
a
that-
mint. That
Is
seems
that
rude.
the lowest form of candy for you?
No. No. Hang on. Has to be edible.
Has to be candy.
Okay.
So, like raisins don't count and stuff like that.
Oh, lowest form of candy.
Yeah. Because I do feel like mints are pretty low, or
Yeah,
those
not just so. This is an objective.
or those
Not
generic hard
Okay,
candies.
I don't.
This is an
consider
objective
mints
question is what
candy,
you're
to be
saying.
clear.
not my least favorite candy, but what is the worst candy to get?
One you think every
Oh.
kid would be like, oh,
What are the Boston beans? That.
Boston.
If you got
beans.
Boston beans, what house are you knocking on that's giving you Boston beans? It's like good and plenty's, but the inside isn't licorice, it's peanuts. I think. It's like a bland, boring peanut M&M. I think that's what it is.
Okay, I looked it up. I don't think I've ever gotten one of those for
Oh,
trick or
that I'm
treating.
like that's probably sad. Like, just get the M&Ms.
That looks so old. Uh, yeah, M&Ms. But yeah, mine would probably be those generic hard candies that just have a solid cut color wrapper, or those pineapple hard candies.
Look, pineapples are fine. The
Or not,
strawberries are the
not
best.
pineapple, the strawberry.
No, the
That's what it is.
strawberries are great. Those strawberry hard candies are amazing. Then again, you don't like fruit, so.
All right, that's all I got.
But did Ryder give a question? Was it dots? Was that your answer?
My least favorite candy of all time.
Well, no. Just like like again, like the
Trick or
objective angle.
treating, you wouldn't.
Yeah.
Or
What's the worst
people
candy to
wouldn't.
give out, kind of thing. Not necessarily
A
your
candy
least
that's
favorite.
bad. A candy that's bad enough that I wouldn't give out.
Yeah.
I wouldn't give out Jolly Ranchers. I like Jolly
That's a
Ranchers,
good
but
one too.
I don't think they're a good Halloween candy.
Okay.
I think that's a good choice.
That's a decent answer. Cool.
All
Good
right,
question.
and to answer Ryder, how the season went, I liked it. I'm usually a Halloween guy over like Christmas. I
Boo.
enjoy it. I know.
Yeah. Woo.
I like the scares. I don't necessarily watch scary movies all the time per se, but I just like the atmosphere of the time and just seeing Halloween decorations and the variety there is to it. It's fun.
Pumpkin spice, let it flow.
Yeah, and doing the like non-Halloween stuff that we covered, Viva Vendetta, Coco, Thanksgiving, Planes Trains. Um, they were fun to cover. I mean, looking at my scores, I enjoyed everything to some degree. 5 being the lowest is not too bad.
No, it's not bad.
Obviously, you guys had lower scores, but for me, it was a pretty good season.
I think it was a very fun, nice little lengthy season rather than just the Halloween month kind of thing of 5, incorporating more of the fall into it was cool, and a good range of selections. But with the selections, something that I kind of see with the first 5 Halloween, I mean, Army of Darkness is a little bit of a standout, but even still with the cheesiness of it and when it came out, I don't necessarily think we did any like strong horror movies. Like they're not necessarily all kid movies, but they do seem more of the like the younger introduction Halloween type style, which is fitting
Yeah,
amongst them.
Coraline
But
would probably be the most horrifying of the Halloween section. I think Thanksgiving is technically the most horror film here, but it is the jokey horror. It's
it is a
not
joking, and the
actually
production
scary
of it is
horror.
low. So that's why I said Army of Darkness kind of has that. But again, at the time it was made, because that has horror elements, but it is also jokey humor.
We're far enough removed from it that we find it jokey, you know.
Yeah,
It was no Amityville horror
I
that we
mean,
did last year.
one could argue V
Or
for Vendetta is
Blair
the
Witch.
strongest horror we have up here.
I
There's
wouldn't go with that.
it's probably not a typical horror, but I can definitely see the play for a dystopian horror. There is an aspect to that, but that's not the full genre, I think.
No. Of course, I think I would actually say that V for Vendetta is the scariest movie we saw this season.
Probably V for Vendetta or Coraline. I think Coraline has more horror elements in it, but V for Vendetta has its moments.
So yeah, just something I noticed because we didn't plan it that way. I mean, I guess we knew Halloween Town and Army of Darkness was gonna happen to kind of help with the rest of following those up, but Coraline, Monster House, and Little Vampire was all just decided randomly amongst these
Those are
for
just
choices. So
personal picks.
yeah,
I mean, Little Vampire, I wanted to do last year, so I was glad to throw it in the ring this time.
and I think I had something else chosen before Coraline, but I changed it to Coraline. But I can't remember what my original pick was.
Yes, I don't remember, but you kind of regretted doing Coraline because Ryder did Monster House.
Yeah, and then I looked at it and I'm like, ooh, that's a lot of
Yeah.
or 2 animations, I think is how I saw it. I went, but no, turned out well. And the V for Vendetta, Coco, Thanksgiving, and Planes Trains, I think, all fall funny enough together nicely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
I'd agree with that. I thought the season went really well too. I very much enjoyed myself. Even the lower end ones, I enjoyed the coverage. So I think it's a good season.
Can't wait to see what the next season holds.
Can be more random.
Well, people
We're
can
very
probably take a
holiday
really good guess at what's
Yeah.
going to be in the next season, or what the
Yeah,
theme of
true,
it is.
Ho ho ho.
Spoiler! Oh, you're gonna make people think we're watching that one,
I know, right?
or are we?
Cue the chipmunk sound effect.
The chipmunks.
What a
Dear
hula
God,
hoop.
not the chipmunks.
That is a Christmas movie. The animated one is a Christmas movie, right?
I think so.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
original. Oh boy, maybe audience, maybe. There's big maybes. I'm not saying any of these are fact right now.
Yeah. Well then, gentlemen, shall I read us out?
I think so.
Yeah.
All right, audience. Thank you for listening. Whether it be Spotify, Amazon, Castbox, Good Pods, iHeartRadio, Pocket Casts, and Samsung. And if you have to be on our visual side of things, be it YouTube or Rumble, thank you for watching there and seeing our PNG slideshow. Please feel free to like, comment, subscribe everywhere. Tell us how much you hate our opinions or how much you love them. As always, I've been a Geeky Writer.
I'm Crimson Maroon.
And I'm Springs.
And we will catch you next time. Later, everybody.
Bye.
Toodaloo.